Good evening, Nation. You're once again listening to the Rogue Nation, episode 21 of Talking Geeky Shit. Tonight, it's a small group. It's just me, the big man Justin, and we got Kevin to the core on my left.
Hey.
And we got just George on my right.
Yo. Small group, but the most talkative.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Heel Hunter Joe had the prior engagement, and he couldn't be here tonight, but he wishes us all well. He'll be back next week, and we'll be talking some cool pops next week. We got some interesting things coming. But for tonight, the only thing I want to mention in the pops world for toys tonight is on Friday at Disney World, there's going to release an exclusive Haunted Mansion Madame Leota pop, glow in the dark.
So the 9th.
The 9th. It's already released at Disneyland because the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland is going through an anniversary right now. So they had an event that's today. So they released it today there. It's going to be released on Friday. I believe it's going to be at the Frontier pin traders where they're going to release it. So expect a huge line. But tonight, that's all I really have for pops. Next week, like I said, when Joe comes back, we'll talk more about the coming Haunted Mansion pops because there are a bunch of them coming.
Yeah, since he's our go-to Funko aficionado.
He always has more info than I do anyway. Yeah. I just kind of have look, this is coming, and then he's got like the backstory. So that's why.
He's like, yeah, there's a Walmart deal.
Yeah. Shit, I didn't know that. So, but that's all I got for toys tonight. But I think that's good because we're going to move right into comics. We're going to start with some news, and then we got some really good reviews this week. Right now, the news we have is the Mr. Miracle team of Tom King and Mitch Gerads is going to do an Adam Strange comic. So even if you don't like Adam Strange, if you just like Tom King, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Mr. Miracle when it came out, but I loved that book. I thought it was great. So
it's done, right?
Oh, it's over, yeah. So
I'm going to jump on that.
I'm interested to see what he does with Adam Strange. That's a heavy sci-fi book, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait. The flavor, the Space Odyssey flavor that they'll probably have with the Adam Strange, but then with their weird, quirky, I'd say almost dark comedy-esque, because that's how I've heard Mr. Miracle has been described as.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be cool as Adam Strange, because I think Adam Strange as a character warrants something like comedic.
I guess. I mean, he's a displaced human. He was pulled to Rann by a Zeta beam, and he was away and then he had a family and everything on Rann, and then I forget the time screen, but he keeps getting pulled home, and he has to wait to come back again through Zeta beam. So, But it'd be interesting to see how Tom King puts his spin on it. So
I like because the announcement came with I think it was the first issue's cover. And it's like a classic Adam Strange pose of him hovering with that jetpack thing over Rann. But it's like a poster version of that. And then the background instead of Rann, it's like a planet orbiting map. And then it's like a red overlay over that image and then graffitied.
Oh, wow. All right. Interesting.
And I think the back says who is Strange?
As if you read the Mr. Miracle miniseries, you know that Tom King famously put Darkseid in Mr. Miracle's living room and had him eat from a crudité plate. So,
dude, that panel's funny. I haven't even read that, and I know that panel.
So I'd be interested to see what he does with Strange Adventures, which is the name of the comic he's going to write with Adam Strange.
Yeah, so I want to show you guys.
Oh, so it's got graffiti on it, and then it says Space Liar, it says Stranger Danger written across his chest, it says Monster written in small letters underneath it. It's got, what does that say?
War criminal.
War criminal, and then it says, I kill, and a word bubble coming out of his mouth, and then it's got his face all scratched out with ink, so that's interesting. That should be good. That should be real good.
Yeah, and I forgot that. It's going to be called Strange Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Not just,
Adam Strange.
You can play on words.
Yeah. But, like, with this teaser picture alone, and then that team gets me. I'm like, bro, I'm reading that book.
Yeah, it should be a good book.
I find the whole war crimes thing interesting because, Tom King, he can write a deep story going into that.
Right, especially being, former CIA. He could write the hell out of, a dramedy of a war vet and whatnot.
Well, the thing that should be cool for that, too, is that it looks like they're pulling that in a different direction because Adam Strange was always considered the hero of Ran. He was the superhero of Ran. So the idea that this is happening, so this could be something where the people of Ran don't actually consider him to be a hero, or some of the people of Ran.
He's on the wrong side.
Yes.
He ended up on the wrong side.
See, and this is, I'm assuming, the original Stranger Adventures where it's Ran, and it's this, like, beautiful utopia-looking place.
Mm-hmm.
Should put those pictures up when you get a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested. Of course, you catch me with sci-fi, and then you get that team together, especially Tom King. I'm there.
Pretty much. Anyone with Tom King pretty much works out.
And they said that it's going to be a miniseries coming out next year. So,
yeah, so that should be pretty good. Miniseries kind of denotes that it's not going to be as long as Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle was a maxi series. It was 12 issues.
Oh, no, so it might be that same thing. 12 issues, maybe.
But maybe
12 or less.
We'll see.
Yeah, because there's not much info since we're so far away.
Yeah, it's really, I guess you could say,
strange. It was really just announced and teased.
Yeah, a little bit of ahead of time. Like if it was a movie or something.
So that was really the only comic news we have to talk about tonight. We're going to move right into some reviews here. Kevin, you read Avengers 22. That was your pick for the week?
Yeah.
I'm assuming your pick for the week was actually Powers of 10, but you didn't want to be like everybody else, so you picked something else.
Well, no, because I basically read everything we're going to be talking about, so I'm like, okay, what would be my actual pick? And then I kind of took up 2 half spots.
Yeah.
I actually want to talk the Batman Who Laughs one first.
Okay.
Which is the ending. It's Batman Who Laughs number 7. The same creative team the whole time, so it's been Scott Snyder and Jock, which has been creepy, great, and horror and a psychological thriller of the Batman Who Laughs literally terrorizing Gotham and personally terrorizing Batman. And then Batman's solution to confront him, to outwit him, was to take the serum, the same serum, the Joker serum, so then he could know and think the same way as him, as the Batman Who Laughs. So and then I like how throughout this miniseries of Batman Who Laughs, every time Batman speaks, his face gets contorted and the thought bubble changes font. So I really thought that was really interesting, the way that it delved into actual madness within the font, not even in the art itself. So then I don't want to linger too much. You guys, anyone else could read that on their own. But I really like the conclusion of how he outwits the Batman Who Laughs. The Batman Who Laughs gets a jump on him by confronting him at the gravesite of the Waynes. And he's like, I have one more prize for you. Because throughout this miniseries, he's been bringing other Waynes from other worlds and killing them, but showing off that they had better, happier lives by walking away from the Batman mantle. So he's basically been proving that this current mainline Bruce Wayne is the worst one. And then, but the ending, the lesson is he's learned that he goes, I am possibly the unhappiest Batman, and maybe not even the most effective Batman. So he admits that, because a better version, and this is another introduction in the Batman Who Laughs, is the Grim Knight, the one that uses guns to the point of super accuracy. Like, I think there's like a slogan for him that his bullets have bullets. So like even if let's say he kills you or shoots you and you don't die, the bullet continues digging into you. So it just kills you slower.
Mm.
Effective.
That's the Grim Knight. The Grim Knight is attacking Gordon. And at the end, he is pushing Gordon down into he's under the caves, under the Batcave, where is already started the pollution of the Joker serum. That's the Batman Who Laughs' plan, is to infect all of Gotham and show Bruce, like show this mainline Batman, the true version, the true face of Gotham, and it's it going crazy.
Yeah.
But Batman had this plan to enclose Gotham, so all the waterways and all this, like all traffic or whatever, so whatever happened, let's say in Gotham, wouldn't affect the rest of the country. So worst come to worst, Gotham is destroyed, literally from the inside out because of this gas. That then gets liquefied. Batman Who Laughs gets one-ups him by getting the jump on him at the gravesite of the Waynes, and he's just like, "Oh, I have a prize for you. It's the last Wayne, the last Bruce I brought, through a portal or whatever to show you." And it's a younger, happy Bruce Wayne that the parents never died. So it's still kid Bruce Wayne. It's still kid Bruce Wayne, but the parents haven't died. I'm not sure if it's died yet or never died. It's not really explained how old the young Bruce is. And then he says that he's like, I'm not even gonna finish you off and let your transformation finish. I'm just gonna transform the happiest Bruce Wayne in front of you.
Wow,
dude, it's demented. It's really demented. And then Batman assumed that this would have happened. He goes, I already knew you were going to attack me personally. So I knew all the personal spots for me would be Wayne Manor, Crime Alley, or the grave of the Waynes. So all the graves of all the Wayne family is rigged with giant harpoons that come out of the ground and fucking launch at Batman Who Laughs and electrocute him.
That's so extra.
So right. So the way he got the one up on him is he was saying, "You're right. I am the worst one." Mind you, he's in still mid transformation, and there's even like a countdown in this issue of down to the last second of when he turns, and he's still like on the edge, and he never fully turns to the point that the Alfred and him are talking about it later, and he's like, "Oh, I've had to have had a different variation." Because remember when Joker was for some reason, like the Joker of his world, of the main universe, Batman's world, he was also infected, but with the Batman Who Laughs variation. But so instead of Joker becoming more Joker, he just dies. But then Alfred kept him alive. And supposedly some kind of antidote was made with the Joker, and Batman's like, "Oh, that's what kept me alive, just long enough to defeat the Batman Who Laughs. That's what kept me just not falling from over the edge." And I was like, "No, I tested that. It was not supposed to have worked." He goes, "You literally just through sheer will did not allow yourself to fully turn into that monster."
That's pretty deep.
Yeah, and then my favorite lesson is when, of course, in typical Batman fashion, he gives this long monologue. But I love the summary of it, of how the Joker is that there's no meaning to any of our actions, and then Batman, he defines Batman as Batman is to show meaning through your actions. So your actions do show meaning, but ultimately you are to win. Because Batman is always about one-upping and winning. He always has a plan. The Batman Who Laughs is a combination of both and the opposite of both, him and Joker. Right. So he does this crazy whole theory, but to summarize is that our actions are meaningless unless we win. So win at all costs, basically.
Okay.
And that's exactly this. The whole mini series is horrible shit that he's forced this Batman to go through, and what he resorted to was literal insanity. He took the Joker serum onto himself to be able to beat him. So he kind of proved the Batman Who Laughs right to win at all costs.
Yeah.
through any means necessary. So it's like again, he's like, yeah, I won, but I lost over in our wits of our battle against our ideals.
Yeah.
So to me, I thought this mini was awesome, and right when you think it's not done, it says because he doesn't kill him. For some reason, the Batman Who Laughs can't die, and of course, Batman won't kill. He entraps him in this crazy cage that's under the Justice League Hall of Justice, keeping him like suspended, and it keeps shocking him, like cycling of just shocks, so for him to like never be able to plan anything of any escape.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is weird because I can't remember how long ago it was. I think we all fell off on Justice League, right? None of us are on it.
No.
Sometime early on when I was reading Justice League and before I dropped it, Batman Who Laughs is under the Hall of Justice, suspended and getting electrocuted and talking to whoever goes down there. So I thought that was really interesting. And if I remember correctly, there's an issue that I did not read that I think Luthor lets him go, and they make a deal or something or whatever.
That sounds like
Yeah, so the ending of this is kind of like ties to that, and then it gives you the last little tidbit of like, Batman Who Laughs will return in Batman/Superman.
Yeah, because they're teasing Dark Shazam.
Yeah, so have you read that preview? That's been in a bunch of DC stuff. So the preview shows they are investigating. Batman Who Laughs created his own Bat Cave in this universe. So they're literally Batman and Superman are investigating that cave, and it's fucking surreal. It's crazy. So it's basically the Batcave, but of course everything about it is twisted and right, horror, chains, fucking blood, and they don't even know where the blood is originating from. And then they get jumped by one of the like little demon Robins.
Oh yeah.
But this demon Robin speaks, and they're like, "Oh, like you don't recognize me, Clark and Bruce," and they're like, "How do you know who we are?" And it's like, "It's me, it's Billy."
What?
And then it teases that he infected 2 Justice League members. It's Billy there keeping the Batcave, and then someone else that's in the Hall of Justice. They don't know who it is, and it's supposedly the Batman/Superman book that will be written by I think Josh Williamson, the Flash, the current Flash writer.
Yeah,
he's writing this Batman/Superman book now. And then the launching point is the investigation of who is the other Justice League member that's infected. And it's cool because I like the art is showing like all the members, and then like their faces alternating to being distorted of who it is on this like giant bat screen and whatnot. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to get to that. I've been really liking this Batman Who Laughs character.
He's a fantastic bad guy.
Yeah. And then I think we saw the teaser on Twitter of like the second issue, even though Batman and Superman is not even out yet. The second issue is infected Billy turning into basically infected Shazam.
Yeah, and it looks so dark.
It looks demented, man. I can't wait for it. And I guess I also want to bring up quickly because it's more of an honorable mention. Is Avengers 22? It's the exorcism of Robbie Reyes.
Yeah,
and it's so cool.
Well, they try to get the serial killer out of the car.
Yeah, like the anything. I love.
Did you read it?
No.
Oh, Robbie Reyes. He's not like other Ghost Riders. He's not bonded to the spirit of vengeance, Zarthos. He's actually, his powers come from the fact that the Charger is possessed by a serial killer.
Who turned out to be his uncle or something.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, but comic books.
Yes. So, I read this. This is the first thing I read last week, and now I'm having a real hard time remembering it, though.
The whole half of the book, they're making it a mystery of who T'Challa ordered to come to the headquarters to do the exorcism, and then it's revealed that
it's Hellstrom. Yeah,
it's Damien Hellstrom.
Yeah, and I love that scene where he's like, "Look, anybody in this room is going to be turned. Anybody pure of heart in this room is going to have their souls kind of ruined. So if you're pure of heart, you need to leave." And he turns like, "Rogers, get out." And Steven was like, I ain't going.
I know because it's more freshly in my mind, just because I recently read it. The way he words it is like, if anyone who's not ever been tainted,
that's what it was, yeah,
by Satan or demons or whatever, leave now. And I love Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. She's like, I'm not leaving, and he goes, that's fine, half breed.
Yeah, half.
I was talking. He's like, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to and Roger's like, yeah, we're staying here. He goes, I was talking to you, Rogers. You need to leave. And he goes, fat chance. I'm staying where the kid is.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Not only did he call Carol Danvers half-breed.
Yeah.
Well, it was just revealed that she's half-breed.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, in the Secret Life.
Yeah, in number 7, Secret Life of Captain Marvel number 7. It just came out. Because that was the big book last week, I think, or the week before. That was the book everybody wanted. Because that was the one that they revealed that she's actually half-breed.
Yeah, that her mother or something was actually Kree this whole time.
Yeah.
Or something.
A nice little retcon that they pulled out of their ass.
And then the B plot of the book, which I thought that because they never get around to the exorcism, it just like starts
prep work,
right? Because in the beginning, because the whole reason why he resorts to that is because the Charger tries to kill him and his brother Gabe while he's just driving. So then he resorts to this, whatever.
Well, the Charger needs like an infusion.
Yeah, it needs blood, right? Blood, it constantly needs killing.
Which is why, which Norse god was it that loved that damn Charger? Balder?
Yeah.
In War of the Realms?
Oh, yeah.
When he was writing it, I think it's trying to kill me. I love this.
Volstagg.
Oh, it was Volstagg.
Was it Volstagg?
Volstagg was Balder.
Yeah, I think
Balder's immortal. He
Yeah.
seeks death.
Yeah, I think it's that one. But yeah, the B plot of Avengers 22, it wasn't a whole lot, but it was, man, who was it? I think it was the Thor, Iron Man, Okoye. I don't think there was anyone else, but apparently, like, they're still dealing with the fallout of War of the Realms.
Mm-hmm.
And in, I forgot what country it was now, they, upon, like, cleaning up and whatever, especially, they even say damage control, and the people of the Wakandan agents, they are afraid to go into this, like, specific cave, and then this crazy cave of wonders that, like, keeps making the, like, even the Wakandan miners go nuts. So they're like, okay, Thor and Iron Man, they're like, all right, let's, we'll go into the big scary cave or whatever. And Okoye is like, no, I already went. I just I need you to see what we've seen. And then she brings out a fossilized Iron Man helmet.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now. And it's actually, they tell us, like, this was made of metal. It's just fossilized into this stone now.
Yeah. Which is teasing. I don't think you read it, George. Did you read it, Justin? The Free Comic Book Day Avengers? No. It was teasing that somehow, and again, it's not like...
That he's going to join the original Avengers?
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Because he just ends up in 1,000,000 BC.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, shit, like, I guess I time traveled or something. He goes, last thing I
remember a little bit about that, yeah.
It's just, it was so long ago by now. That's what sucks.
What a nice little teaser for something that to come out, late or
right. But it's Tony Stark in 1,000,000 BC, and he's confronted by those Avengers.
So
what are they calling?
Savage Avengers? No.
What are they being called?
The 1,000,000 BC Avengers.
They don't have a name, I don't think.
Right.
I think it's the original Avengers.
Avengers BC.
Well, because it's Agamotto, it's Odin, it's Starbrand, it's the original Iron Fist, the original Ghost Rider.
I like that it's Agamotto. It's like you hear so much about him. It's like, hey, it's Agamotto.
That's actually a thing that Blade says in Avengers 2. He goes, "Oh, I've tangled with a couple of Ghost Riders in my heyday, so I know like you need to be bounded for this exorcism thing or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, but some people don't even know the origins of them. Some say it was God being mad at the world, God's left hand or whatever." But some people say it was through the whispers of a snake, and we're like, "Oh, that's the origin we know."
Yeah, that's how it happened. But the Blade reference though is referencing the sons of something. Blade always teams up with this group of people, and there's always a Ghost Rider on the team. I can't think of the name of the group. I think it's Sons of something. I can't think of the name of it.
And the spirit of vengeance really gets around.
Yeah, for real.
Just like Town Bicycle. I didn't want to say it, but I had to finish the line.
But to me, it was cool seeing Hellstrom as a character I'm not familiar with at all.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with. I remember he's had a bunch of. They've tried to give him his own series several times. In fact, they're going to do it again here soon.
To me, it was just funny seeing a satanic, like it was a sassy Satanist.
A sassy Satanist.
Yeah,
You had to go with the alliteration, right?
yeah.
Well, it's kind of the only way to describe it, really.
I kind of want to read it just to see the sassy Satanist.
Yeah, no, it's a good book. And then again, it's Jason Aaron, man. He's killing it on it.
Oh yeah, and it's leading into the whole war of the Ghost Riders because now that Johnny's king of hell, and he's pulled. We know Danny catches with him, the second Ghost Rider, and he's also pulled Cosmic Ghost Rider out of the future into this. So we know those three are part of it. So Robbie Reyes is left because I don't think there was another one.
No, I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, yeah,
but it's also going to tie because Jason Aaron actually wrote Ghost Rider for a while.
Wow.
And because I actually have been trying to find some of those back issues before this was all
the Robbie Reyes one?
No, the one
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze. He wrote.
So he probably wrote the arc that he becomes King of Hell, or no?
He might have. I don't really. I think he did. But this is gonna tie into that because he didn't write the whole run. He kind of came in like issue 34 and wrote to the end.
Okay.
But I mean, he's this. I think this is all gonna tie into what he started there.
Makes sense.
So
kind of how Donny Cates is tying his stuff in together.
Yeah, his own like Donny Cates verse.
Yeah,
the Donny verse.
Yeah.
Donny verse.
Which I really dig when writers try to do that. And they're like, look, I started something over here. Can I continue it over here? And I'm like, yeah, fucking who cares?
This is my grand overarching idea.
Like Tom King on Batman trying to finish City of Bane, and then he's going to continue on Batman Catwoman.
Yeah. But that's just to give them other things to do because they were like, look, we want to give you. You're pretty. Everybody loves what you're doing. We want to give you more. Well, I can't keep writing Batman if I have more.
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed the ending of Avengers 22. It ends with the exorcism just begins, and Robbie bursts into flames with the car, whatever, screaming or whatever, and then it just stops, and he's in hell, and it's like this like highway where it's just full of traffic.
Yeah, there's just it's a
highway to hell
gridlock.
Yeah, and then right next to him is Johnny
on the bottom,
and he goes, "Hey, kid, that's not how it works. You can't just you just can't get rid of the spirit of vengeance like that. You can't get rid of the Ghost Rider." He goes, "But I understand, and I'll tell you what. Let's race for it."
But wasn't that teased or shown like a part of it in something else?
I remember the gridlock. No, he went down at one point. In one of the earlier issues, he went to that gridlock before.
Yeah, and he was awoken.
Yeah.
He was awoken in the mid-conversation with Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, he spoken to Johnny before in that gridlock.
That was actually the first time we saw Johnny Blaze, and he had the fiery crown.
Yeah.
But in this book, they did the Christine thing where he beats up the car and just destroys it, and then it's back in his front lawn the next day.
Bro, that was crazy. That early on, that's why he resorts to the exorcism. After the car tries to kill him and Gabe, he literally spends a whole day in the desert, breaking it apart, beating up the car, digs holes and buries it underground, like these pieces throughout the desert. He literally gets back home, like on a 4-hour bus ride home. Right when he gets home, it's there parked.
So for this exorcism, I have to ask, since it's pretty much the car and Robbie who needs to be exorcised. Are they doing this like in a garage or his bedroom?
No, they're doing it at the Avengers headquarters.
Avengers headquarters.
Because in the next, because what's leading is if you read the if you look at, I think if you read the little synopsis for the next issue, the whole the celestial cave is going to be possessed by the spirit because because they're going to release it and then it's going to take over.
Where am I going to go now?
Yeah, but then they keep bringing up, especially T'Challa, Hellstrom, and I think Cap of that. The spirit of vengeance is so bonded with Robbie Reyes. It's like, if I separate the two, he goes, I don't know if the child will survive. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I don't care. Get this out of me.
And Robbie's basically doing it just to save his brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he can't be near his brother anymore. So if it means he's got to die to keep his brother alive.
I mean, he's got to kill some bad guys. Have Frank Castle ride in the car for a while.
Yeah.
Frank Castle's over. He's
doing the cleanup work.
The kill crew,
Yeah, man, I'm not excited to get there.
You never know. Maybe you'll get there and you'll like it.
I'm still reading Punisher now, and he's in Bagalia, and it's great. The war against Zemo has been awesome, But like knowing that this is on the horizon, that he's just killing a bunch of mystical creatures.
Horizon's a lot of issues.
Didn't you post the picture of the last issue of Punisher? So that book's
I
ending.
said that to you guys. I didn't post it on the Instagram.
No, you sent it to us.
Yeah,
but that's supposed to be because that series is ending, right?
Yeah, I think that will be the ending of the Bagalia or Hydra thing, and then it will start the new mystical creature thing, because the Punisher annual supposedly is the start of that. I don't know why you would start on an annual, because the Punisher annual was him killing a bunch of mystical creatures.
I mean, really, the real start of that was the War of the Realms.
Mm-hmm.
True, yeah.
Which is where everything started, and when you read the books that he's in, he's just talking about how it's just another day, him killing shit.
Well, that's Frank for you.
Yeah.
Well, the book I read 2 books, and we're gonna save the last one for last because that's your book too.
That's all of ours.
Yeah, it's all.
It's all of ours. We're all going to chime in on that.
Yeah. But the book I want to talk about was Batman: Last Night on Earth. Now, I read the first issue and I reviewed it here, and I remember telling you guys I wasn't really sure about it, but it seemed interesting. So, kind of give you a little back. Yeah, I'll kind of give you a little back thing. The world's been ruined and conquered. Well, Lex Luthor's won, and this is in the future, and Bruce Wayne Batman's been reborn because he's always left a way for there always to be a Batman. Which that was my problem with the first book, was I'm just like, I hate that concept.
Yeah.
But this book 2, picks up where that book left off. He's got the Joker head and the lamp, and he's traveling across the desert with it. He's left Gotham City, which is the last refuge of normal human society, and then everything else is just destroyed. It's like post-apocalyptic and everything. In this issue, this book was actually, I really enjoyed this book. It was really good. It starts off with Batman sleeping in the desert, and the Joker's head there just keeps talking, won't shut up, but it keeps asking the same question over and over and over again. Can I be Robin now? Can I be Robin now? And it's just really and like they'll be walking, and he's like, can I be Robin now? He's like, no. And then he's like, how about now? He's like, no. And it's like, okay.
Oh, God.
How about now? And he keeps asking the same question, but that Joker is also narrating the story too.
Yeah.
So, did you read it?
No, I've read the first one. I haven't read the second one yet.
So,
I still will, even if you're spoiling anything, whatever.
This book, one of the things this book does is answer the question of where's Superman. They end up walking through, trying to, because that's where Bruce is going. He's trying to find the Fields of Solitude, and when he gets there, he encounters a bearded Superman. And then the bearded Superman picks him up and takes him to the farmhouse, basically. And he keeps talking to him, like, Clark, what are you doing? Why aren't you talking to me? What's going on? When he gets to the farmhouse, Lex Luthor's there. And Lex Luthor's like an older, like, shriveled, I mean, he's still walking around, but he's an older, shriveled man. And he's like, you're not going to get anything out of him. Superman, he created all these decoys so that nobody would ever believe that him and Clark Kent were the same person, so that they could come. So when he gets to the farmhouse, there are like a bunch of Superman decoys there. And they all look different. They all have like a different costume on and everything like that. The one that picked up Bruce was the one that was closest to being like Superman. They're just all robots.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
why beard? How's it beard?
I don't. Because they're kind of spliced. It's Kryptonian technology. So they're spliced with human, they're not human, but flesh, but they're robotic too, so that
like Terminator.
So that they could fool everybody into thinking that, oh, that's the real Superman. So Clark and Superman could be in the same room together, so that you could always say, oh, I'm not Superman.
That's fucking insanity. So like looking for a needle in a haystack if you're looking for Superman.
But see, Superman's dead because Lex reveals what happened to him. What had happened to him was he basically called Superman out in the middle of a field with everybody watching, the world watching. And he placed kryptonite spears in the ground. And what he did was he's like, look, Lex says this to Superman. He's like, you and me, we're going to have it out. All right? You're gonna argue for the side of being good. I'm going to argue for the side of being evil. Whatever the world decides is the way they want to go, that the other person dies. So, yeah. So
talk about the final showdown.
So Superman's like trying to talk him out of it. He's like, no. He's like, no, you don't understand. This is already happening. You're on. Go. And he had Superman, and then Lex is talking to him. He's like, he makes this impassioned speech for being good. And he's like, I got to admit, he sold me. I was totally believing him by the end of his speech. I was on Superman's side. And then he's like, but then I had to go. And I gave it my best, but it was just a half-hearted speech. And I couldn't match the intensity and the wherewithal that Superman gave. So I lost. So I was going to be the one to be killed. But Superman being Superman couldn't let a person die. He switches places with super speed when he's going to get stabbed by the kryptonite spears. He switches places with Lex at super speed, so he gets stabbed and he gets killed. And that's how Lex won. And then he proceeded to take over the world after that.
Basically disqualification with those rules.
Well, he
played on his emotion.
He won, but by winning, he knew a death was going to occur, and Superman can't have that on his conscience. Right. So he's going to be like, I sacrificed myself. That's what he did.
So then what? So then the world just decides, all right, so then we side with Lex's ideals?
But Lex, because Lex, I guess the world assumed that Lex won, so that it just went to shit after that.
To the victors be the spoiled. He wrote the narrative.
Right.
So, but Lex has been trying ever since then to find a way to bring him back because he realizes the world has gone to shit and the world needs Superman. So,
did you read the first one, George?
No, this is great,
dude. The craziest imagery of that, I don't know if it comes back in the second issue, Justin, is the people with the lanterns, the people with the rings. I mean, the Green Lantern rings.
Oh yeah,
Mogul dies over Earth.
They're not in it.
Oh man, Mogul dies over Earth, so all the Green Lantern rings fall on Earth. So all these unwilling people are just using these rings.
Oh, man.
So then they succumb to the power of will. So then in this crazy future, it's just like giant babies. Like the constructs are literally giant humanoid babies, ugly and contorted or whatever. And then just dragging along the user. And they're all old. They're all old people. Just like, think of them hovering and their arms just flailing upwards, just being dragged by this construct.
By the will.
So it's like lantern zombies.
Yeah. That's so. As this is going on, as Batman's trying to figure out what the fuck is happening, he's actually being pursued by Bane and Scarecrow. Bane has actually got what's left of Scarecrow on his back, which is his head, I guess a torso, and his hands. And he was sent to find Batman by Omega. Omega is the actual villain of the piece. Is the one that
we don't know who that is.
We don't know who he is. We see him in this book, and he looks like a copy of Batman. He's got a all black suit with ears, and he's got red lines running down. So it's like, oh, who could it be? Jason Todd, maybe? You know,
another clone of Batman,
or that. So back at the fields, Batman makes a move, and all the Superman clone or robots attack him. And they're trying to figure out how to get out. And then Wonder Woman shows up because she was in the first book.
Yeah, she was in the
Resistance. She starts cutting up the robots and everything. And they need to get out of there before they get taken out. So they get teleported to the edge of the fields of Solitude. And Lex is like, do you know what's out there? And he's just like, I know what's there. Just send us there. And when they get there, it's actually an oversized, large cloak, which is the Spectre's cloak. The Spectre lost, and his cloak is just left in the field.
Jesus.
And they have to use the cloak to travel. So they go through the cloak, and they're like, where are we going? And Bruce is like, where are we going? He's like, we're going to the last, where all of humanity went. But they have to travel through purgatory to get there. So they're there. It's completely dark, and he's like, Bruce is like, how do you see? He's like, I can see. I have the lasso of truth. And he's like, well, I want to see. And there's like, no, because we're traveling through purgatory. And if you could see, you'll see all the people you've sent here, and they'll be pleading with you to help them. And eventually you'll be overcome with that and you'll jump out of the boat. And when you jump out of the boat, you can no longer come back. But he's like, no, I want to see. So she wraps the lasso around him, and he could see. And by this point, the Joker head's bailed. He's just like, I can't be here. There's too many people talking. I can't do this. But he's still sitting. He disappears for a little while. And then
the head and the lantern.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just says I can't deal with this, and you just stop hearing from him. And then while they're going through purgatory, they see Alfred is there. Alfred had died earlier in the book. He was killed by Bane and Scarecrow. So Batman feels like, oh, I got to help him, but he remembers he can't leave the boat, so he has to resist that urge. And when they finally get through there, they're back in Gotham again because Gotham is the last refuge of humanity. And when they get there, this is a crazy book.
Yeah, this is wild.
They're set upon by the Court of Owls when they get there.
Oh my god!
They're there to execute him. It's like, you will be executed. And then Batman's like, I know who you are, the head owl, the head Talon. He's like, I know who you are. He's like, it's me, it's Bruce. And then the last page is the Talon taking off Dick Grayson.
Nice. And
that's the last page. That's how the book ends.
I'm assuming old, like super old Dick Grayson.
Like an older Dick Grayson.
Okay.
But here's the thing. This is also in the far-flung future. Remember, Batman had died and had to be reborn. Right. So what version of Dick Grayson is this?
True.
You can understand why Wonder Woman's there. She's immortal.
Right.
Lex could prolong his life because he's Lex Luthor.
Bane? Scarecrow?
Well, they did say Omega cut away the pieces that they didn't need and made them the best versions of themselves.
Which is why Scarecrow doesn't have legs?
Yeah. They addressed that because Alfred's talking to him and he's like, am I supposed to be scared of just a head and arms and torso? And he's like, Omega cut away all the things that I didn't need anymore and made me the best version of myself. So they actually addressed that in the book.
Cool. That's good. Seems to just a lot of things.
I can't wait to see that because I love that creative team, man, of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
After reading the first book and being like, I have no idea, this book is weird. Reading this book, I was so into this book. I was reading the book, I couldn't stop reading it. Yeah. I was just like, oh man, what's gonna happen next? It's just fantasy fulfillment, oh, this is so exciting. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you're not buying into the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that style of storytelling where here's the world first. And you get 1,000 questions, and then here are the answers to those questions.
Yes,
eat out of my palm.
Some, no,
but see, when I read the first book, I was still kind of shitty about Snyder's run on Justice League, how it kind of took that in that direction, and I was just like, oh, I'm not digging this at all. So when I read this book, I'm like, oh, it's just more of this bullshit. and then I read the second book, and I'm like, oh wait, no, hang on now, this actually is kind of coming together a little bit, not cohesion. There's a little cohesion here, not like the Justice League book where it just seems to be, let's just throw as much shit on the page as we can get.
Yeah.
So, that book is great. I highly recommend everybody picking that one.
Which is Batman.
The Last Night on Earth.
Which, I'm going to call it now, Omega is the clone before this current Bruce.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm calling it. Because I've seen that storyline. I'm sure we've all seen that storyline happen 1,000 times.
I mean, I was guessing it could be like Darkseid or something.
Well, no, but it's clearly a bat character. Okay. So, but Snyder does have a tendency to see what you see and go, nope, and take a left.
Yeah. Oh, Damien.
I was just gonna say that Damien.
Damien would be the left turn.
That would be cool. Yeah. I would dig that.
It's just older. And
then... So for the last book tonight, I think it's the book we all really. I loved this book.
The highlight of the week.
Oh my god!
I read
Powers of 10. I wanted to, but I
read this the day of.
I waited until Monday because it just sat on my pile. I wanted to read it, I just never got a chance to read it. Mm-hmm. And then finally I'm like, I'm reading this.
And it's a book you have to focus on.
Oh, yes. Yeah, oh, 100%. Yes. Powers of 10, number 1. Oh, I loved this book. I loved this book more than I loved House of X.
Ooh. Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, it kind of gives you some explanation for House of X.
It's too different.
But I'm saying the books are intertwined, so if you have to pick one, I would pick this one over House of X. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I would tell you why. Because I loved the present day, 100 years, 1,000 years. I love
the exponents.
Yes.
Well, it was 10 years too.
Sorry. Present day, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. I loved that because I liked when you got all that explanation about what they did, the splicing of all the sinister making all the mutants, and splicing of
the chimeras.
I was like, I'm reading the description, going, this is awesome.
It was like information overload, but
it's essentially the rewriting of the X-Men continuity.
And it's his own. It's literally Hickman verse X-Men.
Because and here's the thing: it's not past; it's the future.
Yeah,
because it's 100 years in the future,
and
where
1,000.
Where humans and machines have teamed up against the mutants.
Yeah,
and the way the mutants are fighting back is that Sinister created the splicing yards on Mars, where he started splicing mutants together.
I love the way they describe it: birthing pits.
Yeah,
birthing pits.
It sounds so. Like,
but then you get to the end of that storyline, and you're like, oh, but Sinister turned against them.
Yeah,
so you're like, whoa, what happened there?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's Sinister.
They call it the betrayal, and they don't know what really happened, like why he turned.
And then you have the whole. Then you see like the humans and the humans and the robots together, and Nimrod is the head of everything, and he's acting like a child.
Yeah, he has like a personality.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
And then in the future, in the thousand years, you have a librarian who's trying to learn about mutants, and Nimrod is there too.
Yeah.
So it's
and he's just like a floating device.
Yeah,
and he complains that he wasn't built for certain things.
And they talk about how the 1,000 years is ascension. So, I mean, if you're a Stargate fan, does that mean this is when everybody ascends to the next level?
Yeah.
You know?
Is it just mutants?
Is it mutants do that, or is humans doing that and not mutants doing that?
They also speak about how humans and mutants left Earth. Everyone's just like, yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah, well, that's
like 100 years or 1,000 years.
Most mutants went to Mars.
No, but after that, because we have the Shi'ar Empire, where
because they talk about how their pockets, like the Shi'ar have this pocket, and then there's another pocket over here.
There's like 10,000 left, 8,000 of the Shi'ar, and then there's like 2 little colonies out there as well.
Well, then the one colony, and then with the death of these 2 characters, there's 8 in that colony now instead of 10. And
there's only 8 or 10 on Asteroid K, which is what's left over of Krakoa.
Yes.
So I thought that was crazy how, like, in House of X1, we literally see the beginning of Krakoa, and then, like, Krakoa is explained the way of, like, oh, yeah, it fell. Mm-hmm. In, like, a paragraph of information in Powers of 10.
Yeah.
But you also get the little piece of info, like, the reason why the magistrates on the Shi'ar let the mutants stay there is because she secretly wants to take over Earth.
Yeah.
And then they figure use them as fodder for fighting. So there was just so much to absorb in this book. I was just like, you know what? I love this book.
I love that they talk about with the birthing pits and Sinister that after the first batch, he kept having outliers. And I think
the outliers kept getting bigger and larger and larger.
The third batch, I think it was almost purely outliers, and they were all, or there was
it was the fourth batch.
Oh, it was the fourth batch?
It was the fourth batch.
Which one was the one with the peace ones? The peaceful ones?
The Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals, yeah.
Cardinals.
That they were pacifists.
They were pacifists.
And they can't get past the pacifism.
100%. And then they show you a scene of that.
Well, because the Nightcrawler type, which
is Azazel type.
Yeah.
Because he was red.
Well,
he looks like both.
Nightcrawler is his son.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, you have that one who can't kill anything, and then like as a apology, like, look, I can't.
Couldn't even attack.
Yeah, and then that girl dies because he failed. Essentially, he didn't do anything.
But you find out about mutants that were created with black brains, so that their brains can't be red,
which is crazy.
But then some of them turn. And then there's like a whole thing in there. I remember there's like a whole thing in there where they talk about how they created these mutants to infiltrate the mutants.
Right.
The humans made them.
Yeah, humans made them. But then
they sympathized.
But they put in them the idea that they're double agents, so they would turn on them. But they did. They just turned on the humans instead of the mutants. So it's like, well, we can't really argue with that. They did what they were supposed to do. They just didn't do it in the right way.
Yeah.
To me, it was awesome, man. I fell in love. Exactly what we're all talking about is I'm obsessed with that 100-year one.
Yes.
The 100-year one looks like that was the interesting period.
Just the world building was great in this.
The Rasputin character of that combination of like Colossus, Kitty Pryde, but a telepath, Magic's fucking sword. I was just like, what the fuck is this character? And I thought she was the coolest.
In one of the infographics, they show some of the different genes that were spliced.
Yeah, and the Rasputin is 5.
Yeah, she's like one of the last
ones.
Well,
they talked about how in the beginning it was 2 together.
Yeah.
And then they were trying to get more, and then when they got to the 5, that's where the bigger outliers started happening.
Yeah, and that's where around the time that Sinister became the betrayer.
That's why I'm so interested in the Cardinal one that we actually see in the 100-year timeline of like what else does he have or can he do? Because he looks more like Nightcrawler, but has Azazel's red skin. So it's like, okay, those are maybe 1 or 2. what else is he mixed with?
I
was so interested.
They were probably
in that.
trying to get Nightcrawler's teleportation and flexibility and acrobatics, and then trying to mix it in with because everyone wants a telepath. Right. So they always had those abilities on top of them.
Right.
So and then I wonder what else. I mean, stacking on top of that.
But in the one thing is this one is in the 10-year or the present day, there was one scene that I actually had an issue with where it was with Xavier.
No, that's the 0 one.
That's the
Zero.
Yeah, the bench.
Yeah. Because the 4 timelines is past, present, and then 2 futures.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
that's
one
the past one.
The one with Xavier,
Moira.
I had a problem with because Xavier's talking to somebody and then he uses telekinesis to have something come to his hand. And it's like Xavier's not a telekinetic. He's only a telepath.
Yeah, he's only a telepath. I actually don't recall that.
I don't recall that.
Oh. But what that frustrated me, but what I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening? Is that past one because Moira is talking to him as if she already knows him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, is she time traveling or?
Well, supposedly we're going to get the answer to that in House of X 2 because it's a Moira-centric issue.
Cool.
Don't forget that there are 3 issues in the list that are redded out, and the next issue is one of the red ones. So I don't know what that means.
Next issue of
the next issue that comes out of this thing. So I believe it's
the next readable issue.
The next readable issue. So it's House of X 2.
House of X 2.
Yeah. So I mean, Hickman likes to put things in red that are important. So I guess that's going to be.
Well, they're already saying online today that that this was a great read. Like they didn't expect it to be because there were a lot of people saying once I found out this was a Moira-centric issue, I was totally uninterested, and then I read it and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I mean, I went and got my stuff today because I want to read it.
Yeah, tonight. I saw all over like comic Twitter, everyone was tweeting like, yes, Hickman just did that, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about yet. I haven't read it.
No, yeah, I just love that the original tagline was that this is going to change everything.
Right.
And
it seems like that's exactly what Hickman is doing.
Yeah, the hype was real for once.
But then to Justin, to your point of then the present day one, not the past one, the present day timeline continues the Krakoa storyline from House of X. Mm-hmm. So we follow Mystique and Toad when they go through the portal, which is where we last saw them in House of X.
Mm. Yeah, when Cyclops comes out to try to get Sabretooth.
Yeah, and what is it she gives to Xavier?
The data that they got from the site that holds all the information.
The damage control.
Yeah, from damage control, which is in the infograph that Hickman had. I might be wrong, but I think it was Anvil of the Sun.
We don't know what it is.
Which, not a clue.
So then now, Justin, this was my gripe, was the present day one.
Okay.
And I told Joy, the 4, as we already said, it says year 0, year 10, year 100, year 1000. How the fuck is year 10 the current Krakoa storyline? So are you telling me from year 0 to 10 has been the entire X-Men run?
According to Hickman.
Right, according to
cutting.
Dude, that is the most eventful 10 years I have ever witnessed.
What was it you had said? How many times Jean Grey died?
Dude, Jean Grey has died like 9 times in 10 years.
But it depends on what he's going to use and what he's going to retcon away.
Yeah, things are going to be chopped out of that timeline.
If he's going to chop stuff out of the whole story and make it what he wants it to be,
dude,
then he's going to take some stuff out.
He's going to take out the grabbier things. Let's be honest.
Dude, 10 years. To summarize, bro, the audacity of Hickman to summarize like what, 80 years of story?
Considering that X-Men have probably the most convoluted history there is, it's amazing that he could even find shit in there to go, this I want, this I don't want, this I want, this I don't want.
It's hard to fathom that he has to pretty much have a working understanding of the past. How many years did you say it was, Kevin? That
I don't know.
Written?
I don't know when was the beginning of X, because remember the first few issues of X
was there
were reprinted.
Right? Justin was there for that.
Hopefully, at least just the reprints.
No, but
not the first prints.
It's been like 60 years probably. He has a working knowledge of the past 60 years of X-Men.
Google to the rescue.
Go ahead, Google that. But that to me is just impressive. And not only that, he can organize it, and like you said, Justin, cut things out, keep what he wants, and then rewrite certain things. Like the Omega Mutant thing, he completely said, these 13 should be Omega, and this is a definition of Omega, and that's it.
Okay, the 60s.
So starting from the 60s.
So 50, 40, 60. 50 to 60, plus years condensed to literally 10 years.
That man did chops that time.
But that's if that's what he's going to do.
Which I'm okay with.
I don't think anyone has a problem. But to me, I'm like, okay, 10 years, but that's where like I'm having the most trouble with that. The 10 years includes the Krakoa storyline? Like, I find that really fucking absurd.
I think they were trying to show that Krakoa didn't last very long.
Once we do the jump to the 100-year?
Yeah, when they talk back about Krakoa, it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
It lasted, a few years.
I actually really hope we get to that, man, because that 100 years is so fascinating to me.
It really was interesting. And I just want to see more of the battles of the mutants versus the human machine empire.
Me too. I'm almost mad that we're talking about stuff that was just like a paragraph of writing and not shown. I want to see that. I hope there's like I hope we continue the 100-year one and flash back to the war. I really want to see that.
I want that. Well, they seem to spend a lot of time on that 100-year in the book, so hopefully that'll be the good the impetus of it.
I'm staring at the cover right now for Powers of 10, and man, it is absolutely beautiful.
The cover of Powers of 10 is my iPad's lock screen.
Nice. And I'm really digging Cardinal, and he is wearing the Nightcrawler-esque suit and holding a rapier, and he does have a tail as well. So, but I don't know why he'd be holding a rapier if the dude can't fight.
Right, that's true. Maybe he breaks through his programming.
Yeah.
His genetic code. I thought Rasputin was the coolest design.
Well, she's an abomination.
And Nimrod. I thought Nimrod was just so strange and cool. I love the way that he kept apologizing to the black brain chick.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, you'll understand. I hope you get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's something else, man. It is something else.
Yeah, these companion X books leading to X-Men relaunch next year is so far on a good path.
Mm-hmm. I'm taking it.
100%.
I can't wait. So what came out today was House of X 2?
2.
Cool. I can't wait. I'm going to read that.
So this actually should be the red issue then, right?
Should be, right. If that reading guide is to be believed, then yeah. It should be this red issue. But I wonder what do you think that means, George? That it has some kind of significance, or it's more-esque?
I don't know. I mean, for the infographics, because I love getting out those little details out of things, he puts things in red that he touches on. Whether it's Powerhouse being a part of the human affiliation in the Omega Mutants list, he was signaled as red, and he gets talked about almost directly either before or after that, I forget. Or
he gets brought up in the same issue when they meet up the Fantastic Four.
Or when you have Mystique and Sabretooth and Toad stealing that information, and then you have the explanation of damage control, how they have, the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards' tech because he was gone and Tony Stark was dead, and they have all of his tech, and it's all in litigation, and then you have a bunch of different things that they have, like all the code names for it, and then you have the Anvil thing, and it's like, that's in red. So, and then you have, the language alone that Hickman made that people have deciphered already.
I can't believe that.
It's been deciphered.
Leave it to fucking Reddit to do something.
Oh, yeah, man. It's beautiful. But, it's, Hickman has a lot of secrets and a lot of things hidden here, and we won't realize it until we look back. Hindsight's 20/20.
I hope he has, like, a Bible. Like, a thing that he just, like, put all this information down.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's probably at Marvel under lock and key or something.
Fuck yeah.
Probably.
Nah, he probably doesn't even trust Marvel. He probably has that at his house.
He probably has it in his house, like next to binders from high school, just hidden in plain sight. Oh, what's this? It's a binder from high school. That's why those papers are all messed up.
I just love how, like, throughout, like, comic book Twitter, people are, like, praising the books. These now 3 X books. And praising Hickman or whatever. But I love how it's all Marvel writers and like, other Marvel employees are like, sarcastically shitting on Hickman. They're like, he's such a pompous asshole. He makes me refer to him as Mr. Hickman. That was my favorite tweet. I just thought it was so hysterical.
I mean, he's something else. And these books are out of this world, and they really are changing things. And I'm okay with that.
I'm excited. I love this book was so good. I can't wait for the next one. I'm going to read House of X as soon as I can. And then wait for Higher Powers 10, number 2. I really want to read the next issue.
We all are.
I mean, after we read this red issue, we'll probably be able to infer why the hell it's red on this list.
I can't wait to see why the fuck Twitter is going crazy over it.
Mm-hmm.
That one and Absolute Carnage.
Yeah, that came out today as well. Which I have no reference for because I didn't read the Carnage issue that they did the last one.
The Web of Carnage?
Yeah, the Web of Carnage.
Of Venom?
I don't remember.
Well, it is.
I mean, that's supposedly that's why it's like it's jam packed. This Absolute Carnage is like huge. It's just Donny Cates catching you up, and then it's like this enormous story.
Oh, okay.
That's nice of him.
Okay, so moving to television, we got a couple of things here. Disney Plus announced a bundle with Hulu this week, $12.99, and you get Disney Plus, you get Hulu, and you get ESPN Plus.
That's insane to me. I'm not even a sports fan. To include ESPN, and it's still only $13. It's fucking insanity to me.
Disney's the powerhouse. They can do that.
Do whatever they want now. I mean, shit.
They are the living. They are the living conglomerate, like trying to take over the world.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, well, yeah. All the shit they've bought up in the last 10, 15 years, of course.
Yeah, just the past 10. A lot of things.
The only thing rivaling would be like Google. Apple doesn't even come close.
Google's more information based, and they do buy things, but it's more a tech company. Disney controls what you see, where consumer. You see it. Yeah, it's right, directly to the consumer. So it's something else what they have going on.
Are we gonna get this
bundle?
No, not the bundle. Not for you. I don't even care about
me
this,
personally. It doesn't.
It's I don't know. I think of it of like, okay, not, for me, I'm also with you guys. No, but when you think of it of someone who, let's say, passively watches sports, maybe their significant other, they themselves watch some Hulu stuff. You see this price for these many things combined. I completely understand why someone would jump on that.
Oh, me too. Any household, any family household, usually the male in the house prefers sports.
This is what's going to draw people in. Is this bundle?
Right? This package is huge.
Now, what there's no details of, and I'm still so curious, is the quality. I'm still dying to know 4K? If they're gonna the 4K content. If they're gonna pull Netflix and charge more for the 4K,
or maybe charge more for multiple viewing at the same time, like Netflix does.
Right, like
you can only have
the device streams.
Per device streams, exactly. So I mean, there's still time, but I'm pretty sure they have that wrapped up already, and they know what they want to do. They just haven't announced.
$13 already surpasses Hulu Premium.
Yeah,
to me that's insanity. So the Hulu in the bundle has to be the ad-free one, because the ad-free. I mean, not the one with ad.
Yeah, the basic lower price. Hulu. The lower price.
The lower tier Hulu. Because I think the lower tier Hulu right now is $6.
Yeah, but that's full of ads. Like you go to watch anything like right now that you can watch, and it's like you get 6, 7, 8, 10 ads. It's that's the reason I stopped Hulu, because I was an early adopter of Hulu, and they had maybe like 1 or 2 ads in the beginning. And a couple of ads, and like maybe an ad towards the end that you could skip because it was just the credits. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But they started to go ad heavy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, let me get the one that lets me take off the ads. No, this takes off some of the ads. Oh no, screw this.
No, I know they've changed that. They've changed a lot of their policies and whatnot.
The only thing I watch it for now is for Rick and Morty. And that's because I have it.
But then in this same announcement, Justin, I don't know if you saw that with the Disney bundle pricing. They also said at launch day, at least 100,000 hours of content.
Mm-hmm. I did see that.
I was like, yo, at launch day, you can spend the rest of the year just watching Disney content.
That's what they're hoping for. That's what they want.
That's fucking crazy.
They're trying to get you by the feels.
Dude. And that's not, well, I actually don't know if the announcement said that. I'm not sure if it said only the Disney Plus is 100,000 hours, or is that including the Hulu and the ESPN?
You know, considering all the years I watched Disney as a child and all the original content, like Netflix is doing original content now. Disney's been doing that since the beginning of time.
Right.
So,
and then now it includes Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm,
scratch that out.
Pixar.
Just Disney alone, I think they could reach 100,000 hours of original content.
No, 100,000 hours of Disney alone, no.
You know how many seasons of Lizzie McGuire they have on there?
Jesus Christ. That's a thing I've not heard of.
Or all the movies, all the like Xenon and the 31st Century movies and stuff like that. Hey, Brink's a great movie. Don't you say anything bad about that. But still, I think they used to pump out original movies on the monthly. Like those small scale movies. And I was one of those kids who would religiously watch it when it came out on Saturday at like 8 o'clock at night.
The like 40 Air Bud sequels?
No, those weren't part of the original content.
Oh.
That it was other things that was like the Xenon movies. Those were part of the Lizzie McGuire movie, things like that. Those were all part of the original movies. They were pumping out for years, every month. Bam, bam, bam.
I know what you're watching when you subscribe.
Hell no. I gave my life to that already. I don't rewatch things. One and done.
I already know it. Because of course my fiance said that Val said that she was gonna be paying for this, but not the bundle one. But of course, the first thing I'm gonna do is just watch a ton of MCU content in 4K using her log.
It's only fair. She has her login.
Right. She uses my Netflix, and I'll use her Disney Plus. That, and I really want to see Star Wars stuff in 4K.
Yeah.
That would be worth it.
Especially the first one that comes to mind to watch in 4K is Force Awakens.
I won't lie though, Kevin. You have the nicer TV between me and you, so I'm going to be abusing your couch watching those things in 4K.
That's fine.
There goes our Battlestar Galactica watch time.
Yeah. Justin's going to hate me more.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You're never going to get around to it.
But what are you thinking, Justin? Are you thinking of getting the subscription for Disney Plus?
Oh, I'm going to get the subscription for Disney Plus. I just if they're going to start bundling with other things, I'm going to wait and see what the best bundle is, though.
Okay.
You know, I don't mind a Disney and Hulu bundle, but I don't need ESPN, so I'm not going to pay for it.
So you're hoping that you could customize the bundle?
Well, I'm hoping they'll do something. They'll have a different type of bundle. Maybe they'll just have a Disney Plus Hulu. But if it doesn't, I'll just take the Disney Plus. I don't need the Hulu.
Yeah,
but it'd be nice to have it.
Yeah, I mean Hulu, you can get free a bunch of times. Like T-Mobile has offers for Hulu free for a year or something like that.
Yeah, and then doesn't Hulu come with like a Spotify subscription?
I think it might be vice versa. Spotify gives you a Hulu subscription.
Wow, the music streaming service gives you the subscription to the video one.
I'm subscribed to Spotify,
right?
And they're like, "Hey, do you want to take advantage of your free Hulu?" No, I'm good.
That's really funny.
And it comes up constantly. I'm like, "No, I'm good, thank you."
Oh, because it's the ad one.
I don't care if it's the ad one or not. I don't even check. I don't watch. Hulu was for Rick and Morty, and I think it was Mortal Instruments TV show at one point.
See NCW shows. Yeah,
and I was just like, I'm good. I'm done. I saw this. I'm good.
I get it. Justin, what is going to be the first thing you watch on Disney Plus?
Mandalorian.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, launch day. That's right. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
And I'm here saying 4K content. Well, Mandalorian.
4K Mandalorian.
4K, yeah.
Hey.
Wasn't it rumored or was it confirmed that it's already renewed for a second season?
Oh, it's already renewed.
That's fucking crazy.
Hey, but so was The Boys.
Ooh, yes. That gets me hyped.
Can we slide that in here, maybe?
I haven't finished.
Well, we can talk about the first episode and the concept. But it's up to you guys.
Let's finish the news.
Okay.
The other news for this week, I wrote it down that, this is true. Kevin Conroy has been cast as Batman in the CW Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover. So he's going to play the Kingdom Come Batman, the older Batman, which is great because you have the definitive voice of Batman actually being Batman in live action.
I thought Brendan Routh was doing that.
No, Batman, not Superman.
Right.
Brendan Routh is the Kingdom Come Superman.
Right, but then that's vastly different age difference.
Doesn't matter. They'll figure it out.
Well, they'll just age up Brendan Routh.
Okay. Right, he's Superman, so he's supposed to age slower anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, yeah.
And then I saw a rumor that they cast Mark Hamill as the Joker. I'm starting to not believe this one. So I don't know if that's probably not true.
But since he has a role in Flash already.
But it doesn't matter. So does Brandon Routh. So does, it doesn't matter. The Kevin Conroy is supposedly true. So that I'm excited for.
That gets me hyped. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, what is that going to look like?
Well, they've already got renderings of him as an older Bruce Wayne. It looks pretty good, so I'm excited.
Yeah, so probably like hearkening to
and he's
Batman
supposed to be the CW's first Batman.
True,
too, because there's nobody else has been Batman at this point.
Well, because no one's supposed to be allowed to use Batman.
Yeah,
I don't know who they polished the knob for to get this done.
Well, this is Elseworlds. They're probably like, well, okay, fine, fuck it.
I mean, they probably came up with a really good script, and DC was just like, cool, go, or WB.
I really hope it is that iteration of the Batman Beyond one, so he has like Ace the dog.
I mean,
I think that'd be amazing.
Another rumor that I heard since we're on the CW stuff is Jon Stewart, Green Lantern.
Well, they've been talking about that because they want to make Diggle Jon Stewart.
Well, and they make jokes and references about it before.
Yeah.
Well, even when Jay Garrick Flash comes over from his universe, he says, "John, where's your ring?"
And things are different here. But so I mean, that rumor mill has popped up again, and it would be nice to see a Green Lantern, especially since the CW is looking for a new Arrowverse, which we can't really call it that anymore, can we? Sort of show in 2020.
Legacy. Yeah, they want to
CW.
Well, see. Now I've read it both ways. Either CW is looking for another show to take Arrow's place, or they have no interest in doing another show. I've read both articles.
Well, it's essentially going to be Batwoman because that would take the spot of the dark corner.
Yeah, but they want
universe.
another. They're saying they're looking for another DC show to do. But they've also the article's been written both ways, so I don't know.
Bro, they're doing like 5 already. Like stop.
And supposedly they're going to bring Black Lightning in for this too. So Black Lightning is going to officially join this universe as well.
Yeah. So we'll have
cool.
Supergirl, Flash, Black Lightning, Legends of Tomorrow, and Batwoman. That'll be 5. Versus Killing Off, which would have been at 6. Then another one. And they're pulling in Smallville characters as well.
Well, that's still rumored.
More rumored.
That's another.
That's still rumored because they've been overposting articles that they pulled Michael Rosenbaum to come back to play Lex Luthor.
That's amazing.
Michael Rosenbaum actually tweeted, "It's like his first I've heard of this."
Damn.
So
well, it's so funny how Michael Rosenbaum is, to me, forever the voice of Flash from the Justice League animated series. Or was it Unlimited?
He was the voice of Flash?
Oh, damn, both.
Both.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah, because he voices Wally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's great. He's the best.
I can't unmake that connection now.
Yeah.
Great. Beyond the news, we got a couple of reviews down. You wanted to talk first episode of The Boys?
I mean, I'm okay with it if you guys are.
I'm 3.5 episodes into it.
I think we should just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait to do a full review?
Yeah.
Well, we do recommend watching The Boys.
If I
say that.
Yeah.
If I continue on this trajectory, by next episode, we'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it was just that good.
That's how good it is. Kevin is watching this on a daily basis.
I asked you guys, I'm like, hey, I have a queue. If I break my queue, it has to be worthwhile. And I'm so glad Justin even said it. It's like, don't even bother with Stranger Things Season 3, jump on The Boys. And I'm glad I listened to that.
And it's only 8 episodes. It's a quick fix.
Yeah.
Really? It's only 8? I thought it was more.
No, it's only 8.
Your face right now is priceless.
Wow. I'm so going to be done quicker than I even thought.
And we do have a friend, Vinny, who read the comics. He's read the first 2 omnibuses, and he says, same world, but the story's a little bit different. So
they've changed a bunch. Because in the book, all the characters, the boys, they all have superpowers as well. They go toe to toe with all the soups.
Oh.
In the show, they don't.
Yeah.
What? He knows that.
Yeah. Well, you knew that about the comic book?
No.
You see, you didn't know about the comic book.
He's not going to read it. What do you care?
He might. No, Kevin. Okay.
I don't like going back. Like once I already saw something, I'll be like, I'm not gonna go back to the source material.
And they replaced what's it called? The guy, the invisible one, translucent. Yeah, he doesn't exist in the book either. He actually replaces Jack from Jupiter, who was the Martian Manhunter analog.
That's funny.
So, but they have a mandate on the show: no aliens and no I think No Magic or something like that. It's
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. A show after my own heart. That's awesome. I mean, I love it
No
because
fantasy?
I love it because it's so grounded, man. Grounded, dark, and then the
It
pilot.
gets even more grounded.
Good.
Yeah.
Because the first and then even more love is the first episode. The pilot episode was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane, that Portal No Escape short that was awesome. So he basically specializes in really grounded, gritty, dark fucking shit.
I mean, this is a perfect series for him to
Right, because the director of the pilot of any show is the one that sets the tone for the series. And I thought that was perfect.
One thing I did notice is that none of the other episodes are as dark as the first one in camera angles and shooting and lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else matches it. I'm like, damn.
He's really cinematic, and he likes to do his own lighting.
I can tell.
Dan Trachtenberg.
So I wanted to just briefly mention the Another Life TV show.
That's right, that you mentioned last
week.
Yeah.
With Katie Sackhoff and a whole bunch of other people. The only thing I want to say is I finished it. I legitimately hate this fucking show.
That was so
not
good.
expecting that.
That was so good.
I cannot fucking stand this show. And the worst part about it is my wife was watching it with me, and she's like, well, I want to get to the end. I'm like, I want to get to the end too, because I got to know what the fuck this show is. And then you get to the end of the show, and I'm still like, what the fuck is this show? This show cannot decide what it wants to be. It literally jumps genres like people pop Tic Tacs. I swear to God.
Worse than Stranger Things?
No, but at least Stranger Things was set out to be that way.
Yeah.
Another Life is just like, we're going to be here. Oh, no. We're going to be over here now. And, no, wait. We're going back here. It's fucking crazy, this show. At a certain, I don't even know where to fucking begin with this thing. There's a certain point in the show where it's about the size of my hand. It's like a spidery thing. It takes over somebody's brain.
Okay.
Right? And
So like Alien?
Yeah. But and they can see it like on a CAT scan. It's just sitting there hovering on its brain. It's making them do things.
Crab head. It's like from Half-Life.
So at a certain point, they're like, the ship is falling into a black hole, and they don't have enough power to get out of the black hole. So they're trying to figure out. And then Katie Sackhoff has the brilliant idea. It's like that thing in his head has got to have power from somewhere. And then the next scene, you see it's just this giant tube that they've shoved into the guy's neck to power the ship they're on. The nuclear-powered ship they're on that doesn't have enough power is being powered by this little tiny thing in this guy's head with a fucking thing bigger than the size of a hose. And then in the very next scene, and then the next episode, that guy is perfectly fine, and he's not fine, but he's alive and well and going crazy in a room. And it's like, what am I watching? What the fuck is this show? I cannot. This show is fucking terrible. I hate this show.
That sounds worse than Event Horizon.
Hey, I like that movie.
It is. This show
That
is
ending
just
is still bonkers.
Yes,
fucking.
it is.
I watched the show all the way to the end, thinking we're gonna get some answers. We're gonna get something, right?
It was all a dream.
And then at the end, that would have at least been something, right? That would have at least. I would have at least gone. It sucks, but I can respect that they did. They had something. It at least makes up for why I saw what I saw. But you get to the end of the show, and it's just like, oh, all these aliens that you know. We've been trying to figure out since the beginning. They're going to attack and destroy everything, and you're just like, well, what? Oh my! I can't.
Well, you officially convinced me to take it off my queue.
I can't even recommend watching the trailer for this. This thing is just.
The worst part, I saw the trailer and I was like, it was like Event Horizon the series.
That's okay with that.
Right, that's why I was okay with it until this raving review.
And then, there's an artificial intelligence hologram on the show that, for some reason, not really explained, starts to develop feelings for Katie Sackhoff's character.
I mean, I would too if I was a computer.
To the point to where she fucks it, and then he gets all upset and resents her for it, and then it's just like, what am I watching? What is this shit? And then there's another character on the show, the head engineer, and it's a beautiful woman, and she's got two guys that like her, and then in the middle of it, she just decides that, you know what, I want to fuck them both at the same time. So it's like Sandwich City in one scene, and you're just like, Okay. There's just a lot going on that you can't explain. That has no.
I mean, at least that one does happen in real life. Everything else is just bonkers.
Yeah, because all engineers are sexy.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's not like when she starts talking, you're like, "Oh, she's the head engineer." Okay,
it just reminds me of fucking Starship Troopers with fucking Denise Richards is a fucking scientist. No,
the
scientist in James Bond.
James Bond, yeah. Christmas Jones, yeah.
She's nuclear physicist. Yes,
nuclear physicist.
All right, so that was Justin's review of another. What is it?
Another Life.
Another Life.
And you want to know what the worst thing about this is?
There's more.
When it comes back, I'm probably gonna watch the first episode just to see what happens. Because the sad thing about this show, as much as I hate this show, it does one thing right. And that is the cliffhanger. It gives you a reason to come back every week because it's one of those shows that when it ends, I mean, it ends hard, and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, what the fuck was?" And then you're like, "No, I got to know what the hell's going on here." And you just that's what it was for me. That's why I just kept going episode. Eventually, I would have just been like, "This is boring. I'm not going to watch this." But it was every night. It was like, "All right, let's settle in and watch this fucking show."
Now, do you think? You only continued it because of the cliffhanger. Do you think only that because it's a Netflix binge? And if it was, let's say, on HBO?
Oh, no. If this was week to week? Oh, no way.
You would have stopped?
First episode, I would have been done.
Okay.
Because there was no way. There's no way after a week.
That's where Netflix is really winning.
Yeah.
They've gotten the binge watching model down to a fucking science.
Yeah.
There's no way because I would have a week would have gone by and I would have completely forgotten about this show. What kept the show in my head is that I was able to watch 2 episodes a night. So it was just like, it was still in my head the next night. I'm like, well, all right, let's go back,
That's their formula, and it works fantastic.
There's no way I would have watched this show week to week.
Justin, don't take this the wrong way. I hope you watch more horrible TV shows to get these reviews.
They're hilarious.
Okay.
We just start sending him like 2-star shows. Hey, watch this.
Yeah, but in between, watch the OA. That shit was just canceled.
Yeah, it was canceled. Go watch it.
That's how you know it's bad when Netflix cancels the show.
Actually, like a lot of people on my friends list were mad that it was canceled. And they kept posting, Netflix keeps canceling its best shows, the OA, like a couple of other things. And I was like, I've never even heard of these things.
Everyone that I know about that has watched the OA has said it's a show that you don't know what's going on, and it's one of those shows that it just asks more questions.
I read the wiki on it to like get a little briefer. That's a new word. After I was reading
that you made up.
Yeah.
I like it.
All words are made up. But
fucking God damn it.
That's the title of the episode.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, after reading the wiki for it, I was more confused. The wiki had less information. I was like, how does this happen?
I hope in between bad Netflix binges, Justin, you squeeze in the German show Dark. I can't remember if you started that already or not. Okay.
I've committed to doing it, so that's okay.
I need a new binge because now I'm binging the last season of Doctor Who. I never got to watch it, so I'm actually starting to do that now.
So just, that's like my honorable mention. I don't want to linger too much on Dark, but I just finished my rewatching of season 1 with the fiance because she had not seen it. We went through it because we just had a rainy ass weekend, so all we did was just Netflix and chill all weekend. So we finished Netflix's Dark season 1 and started season 2. So I think I've already told George this. So it's a German series. Hopefully you could get through the reading of subtitles and stuff.
I thought it was dubbed.
You can dub it.
I thought there was an advertisement for season 2. And it's dubbed.
Yeah, Netflix gives you all these crazy options. You can change it to
have
French.
every language option.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can change it. So it's true. But
because that was originally what turned me off to was that you have to read subtitles. And I'm like, look, I read with the best of them, but I don't need to read my shows. I'm sorry.
I'm a purist. I'm a purist when it comes to foreign content. I like to get the afflictions in the actors' voices. So I just read and I'm fine with it. And I was so happy my fiance was too, because I would have been really mad to have to watch fucking dubbed. And she was cool with it, but she said that what made up forcing the show forcing it to read was great acting, incredible cinematography, and her words, and I 100% agree, the most compelling story she's ever witnessed on TV. And I was like, I'm sold, and this is why we're getting married.
So, Kevin, this is a few days later that you said this to me. Is it still the best TV show you've ever seen?
And I said, what was it I told you?
I remember.
I said, I have only seen the first season. I have to check back with you like once I finish the second season.
Season 1.
Now that I've started the second season, yes, it's already edging on there to possibly being the greatest fucking series I've ever seen. And now knowing that it's been renewed for a third, Netflix renewed Dark for a third and final season, so it is wrapping up. And then the creators said we only wanted 3 seasons, and I'm like, that's beautiful. I cannot fucking wait to see how this insanely intricate fucking story wraps up.
I love TV producers, directors, makers from other countries. They understand how to wrap something up, unlike the American sitcom formula that just goes on for fucking ever.
And fucking 20 plus episodes and whatnot.
Yeah. Like, I hate that stuff. And there's never an ending in sight as long as it has good ratings.
So, Justin, do you know anything about it? Like, have you seen a trailer or anything?
You were telling me about how it's like a guy time travels into it's like a realistic version. The most you like the version of time travel in this more than anything. Yeah. You were telling me something about it.
So I don't want to ruin it.
Don't because I want to go into it blind.
No, it's good that you know about the time travel because it's a slow burn to the time travel.
Okay.
But the show is not a slow burn. A lot of fucking shit happens, and it's all really fucking important. And even now that I've rewatched the first season twice and started the second season, dude, so much shit is really important for the story as a whole. And the way I've explained it to like George and other coworkers is, it's a story that instead of being, let's say, going through a narrative, it just expands. But it's not one of those that just asks questions. It's just that the story really encompasses that much time and characters. Mm-hmm. And it's, to me, like I said up top, it is the most intricately planned story I have bared witness.
All right, I'm going to fucking watch it. Yeah. Stop selling it.
He's very passionate.
I understand that. I was like, did you direct this motherfucker? God damn.
I wish. I fucking wish.
No, I'm going to watch it. I respect your opinion when it comes to these things. So it's there. It's on there. I just, it's, you know what it is? It's remembering when I'm trying to find my next show.
Okay.
Like when, you're sitting there and you're trying to, what am I going to watch next? What am I going to watch next? It's just, it's got to filter into your head. Otherwise you're just like, oh, watch this. And then you get on that and you're, oh, then you said you wanted me to watch that other show. Yeah. Oh, fuck it. I'm already on this.
For me, The Boys was just because everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my friends on Discord who don't really have time for TV shows, like Eli, who has his life and everything, and some who don't really watch TV at all, like Celine, they've watched The Boys.
Amir doesn't even watch shows.
No, but Amir has been hounded by all of us to watch it because he's okay with the superhero stuff, but he likes more grounded things and more like when things go bad. Like the good guys who are supposed to be good, not being good, that's right up Amir's alley. That's why it's like, for the love of God, watch the first episode and he won't be able to stop.
Right.
He'll watch it in the night.
Yeah, I think I watched the first 3 episodes and then I stopped for like a week or a couple of days and then I'm on the last 2. I know I'm on 7 and 8. I need to watch the last 2.
My pitch to Kevin it was that Monday after it came out.
I see 3.5 episodes in 3 days.
Yeah, during lunch and everything.
See, I know you guys, it's not as bad for you guys. The over the topness of this show kind of turns me off a little bit.
The Boys.
The Boys, yeah. So like how I don't even want to say graphicness because I don't really mind graphic, like all the blood and stuff in the show. Like it's just for me, it's like, okay, if they're willing to take it this far, that they're gonna at some point they're gonna go even further. And when you can't imagine what that further is, it's kind of daunting to me. So that's where I'm like, most people are like, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. I'm actually on the fence of, I don't want to know what they're going to do next. But the show is good enough to where I'm like, I'm interested in what's going on. That I'm like, well, fuck, I have to find out what's going on next.
Justin's wondering what comes after Asbomb.
We won't.
But see, that doesn't bother me. That was actually funny. I really liked that because they were like, they took what I liked about it was they took a scientific look to it. They're like, we can't penetrate the skin.
It was a turtle.
What? Yeah, and then he sees this like, look, it's all on the inside. We got to do this, and it was, I actually did like that.
Right now, listeners are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
But like the girl getting creamed. What's the first episode?
Creamed? It's not a very good term.
No, the where she gets obliterated by A-Train in the first
creamed
episode.
is something else. Wrong category.
Yeah, I was thinking another scene.
Well, that too. That was fucked up. But her getting all fucking obliterated. I'm like, I saw that. I'm just like,
the way Adrian says it is like, I ran through a bitch.
Yeah, and I swallowed her molar.
Yeah.
All right, stop. We're gonna review the whole series.
Yeah, we're gonna review the whole.
I do want to give you one thing, Justin, just because I know you're saying I don't want to see what they're gonna do next. One thing that they had to cut out that Amazon said absolutely no.
With him jerking off on the building?
Him jerking off on the Chrysler building.
Yeah.
So that won't be in there. At least now you know that.
There's a scene. Did you read that?
Yeah, George told me.
Yeah,
as we were watching the second episode, I was like, he was supposed to go jerk off up there right now.
Yeah.
Dude, and the Homelander character to me is so great. And especially that it's played by Anthony Starr from Banshee.
That smile of his,
one of my favorite shows.
Creepy.
He's just perfect. It's just creepy.
Yeah.
You know, and then you think about it, you're like, this guy he's the most powerful guy in the world, and you're like, God, that's the wrong guy to have all that power.
It's just even funny because like he doesn't like laugh or smile on Banshee, Anthony Starr.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him in such a very different role, in a role where
always smiling,
but it's not a real smile,
right? No. And it looks like to us as an audience, it looks fake.
It's just, I mean, I can imagine seeing that smile in like a politician and being like, "That's a bad guy."
Yeah,
that's my first thought. That's the bad guy.
Well, here's the thing. Even when you first see him on this show, I mean, Grant, I know we're diving into a review. We should, but even first seeing him on this show, your first instinct is to think that's a bad guy. He does not look like a hero,
right?
You know, he does not. Well, he does look like a hero, but he doesn't exude that. Good, the hero-ness, you know,
the moral and everything. Yeah.
But we'll get into a full review later after we've seen the entire show because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
a lot to unpack on this show.
Right, you're not even done, Justin.
No, I got 2 episodes left.
Okay.
And then George is done, and you're on episode 3.
I'm on 4.
On 4.
I started 4.
He's in the middle of 4.
Right. So now knowing that you guys told me that it's 8 episodes, I'm halfway done.
I was so hooked that Sunday night when I had to go to work the next day, I started like an idiot, like at 11.
You binged it, didn't you? You pushed all the way through?
I went to 5.
Oh, okay.
I went to like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus.
I went to work the next day like a zombie. I looked at Kevin. I was like, you gotta watch the boys.
Dude, it's good, but it's not like that.
No.
For some people it is. For some people it's their shit. You know?
True.
It's like,
no, I'll give you that.
I mean,
look at you. I've never seen you. Like, I came over, you were watching one episode, and then you started another. I never seen you do that. Usually when people come over, you're like, I'm done watching.
No, it was the same episode. I just like hit pause and shit.
Oh, I thought you went into the next episode.
No, it was still the 4th.
You still continued.
Yeah, I still
never continued.
Yeah.
No, usually when people come over, you're done and you start talking. But you were like, nah, I'm going to go back and see what else is going on.
Yeah, I wanted to. And now going to so we can finally move away from the boys, but it's kind of bittersweet. George and I finished Swamp Thing. Mm-hmm. We finished the 10 episode cutoff or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking DC did to this fucking show.
You actually chose to watch the end of this season, then go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about that, I was going to do a double feature on Monday.
Oh, okay.
And I was going to.
This story is fun.
There's a story here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to do a double feature at AMC using that fantastic A-list membership that I have.
Uh-huh.
And I got my tickets. I spaced them out properly. I was like, perfect. I got an hour between. That's enough. And I was going to do Hobbs and Shaw and Once Upon a Time. And I was like, even though Once Upon a Time would have been a little bit later, I was like, Tarantino, I probably push through it. And I get there for Hobbs and Shaw. Right after work, I rush over. I show them my ticket. She scans it. And she scans it, so I can't refund it at this point. And she's like, ID? And I'm like, motherfucker. I left my ID at home that day. And they almost never asked me for ID, but I guess this one person was like, $10 an hour. That requires me to do things right. So and I'm just like, I don't have it. And she's like, I need your ID. And I'm like, well,
you didn't have anything?
No, I didn't have my wallet at all. I left my wallet at home.
I was going to say, sometimes you can get away with a credit card with your name on it.
I was about to be like, yo, can I log into Facebook? Does that count?
That's kind of funny.
But I didn't go that far. I was like, I want to be a dick.
Look, it's me. Yeah.
It's a me. I'm Mario.
Okay, so you watched Swamp Thing last.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's just that was really a funny story.
No, this is a funny fucking story. It's okay. So you didn't get to see Hobbs and Shaw, and you didn't get to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
And I'm sad about
and now you've watched Swamp Thing in its place. So what's the final verdict on this show that you've been singing praises about?
Great, but it spiraled out of control towards the end.
Did it?
I mean,
and to the point that it felt like the money went more towards effects and the shooting on location and special effects for Swamp Thing and CGI. Again, he looks great. He's not the problem. The problem then, especially, I even told George, and I said it on this podcast, after the third or fourth episode, this fucking show went into cheesy, tropey, spiraling out of control territory. We're now down to I think George and I, we did the last 2 episodes?
yeah, we did the last two.
The last 2 episodes, it literally got to a point that it felt so rushed and like uncaring of its own content, I started to care less.
Well, remember, they did the cut-off episodes at the end.
Right, but it felt rushed. It felt like these episodes were summarizing 5 or 6 episodes worth of content.
They had to wrap it up, and I feel for the producers, directors, and everybody.
I really hate to be this guy, but so basically what happened is what I said was going to happen at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to point that out there.
But the worst part, the worst part, you said that, what's the point of continuing if it's canceled? And then the follow-up after that was they cut episodes.
Yeah.
So it was like
but we knew
a
when
stabbing and then a shot to the fucking head.
Yeah. Does the guy who played Alec in the first episode, does he ever does he ever come back?
Yes.
Yeah, they show him every now and again.
Okay, because to me, when I watched the first episode, I was like, he was the most compelling thing about that first episode.
Oh yeah, his character is absolutely compelling.
And then when they replaced him with Derek Mears, I'm just like, Derek Mears is a good guy, but
he does a great job of portraying,
both do great. But the original Alec Holland human form plays like his conscience.
Okay. So at least they didn't get rid of him. Because like I said, when I watched that first episode, I was like, this guy's the one I care about. And then I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to turn into Swamp Thing at a certain point.
One of my favorite moments of the whole series actually re-adds him back, where Swamp Thing releases like hallucinogenic pollen
spores,
in the air. Mm-hmm. So then Abby sees him as Alec Holland. So he's still Swamp Thing, but she is hallucinating him as Alec Holland.
Okay.
And they have this like
final hurrah.
Yeah, like great heart to heart. I'm like, bro, like it was to me such a beautiful scene.
Do they ever bring in the whole Avatar of the Green aspect?
Yeah,
they do.
They dab in it,
and you can tell that they had plans for it,
right?
But it doesn't pay off.
And then supposedly they brought in a guy who's supposed to be the Phantom Stranger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that did
and
happen.
He plays a role. We got Blue Devil.
Oh, you did get Blue Devil.
Yeah.
So you're in
full Blue Devil.
You got Ian Ziering being Blue Devil, or somebody else being Blue Devil?
No, him.
Okay.
But the worst part is it's rushed in these last 2 episodes that I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can tell they had more plans. And I know you called it, and in the middle of the episode, I was just thinking to myself, "Oh, Justin's gonna hear this and just say I told you so."
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say I told you so because you guys made a compelling argument for watching the show. I can't argue with your argument for watching the show. My only thing I can say is that when you say, how do you know? I can say experience.
Yeah.
I've done this a little more than you guys have, so it's like I
The
kind
worst
of see
part-
where this is going.
The worst part, it pains me to say, to literally admit that it's not worth watching.
Especially since it started out so strong for you guys.
Strong to the point of like I was recommending it to everyone.
And I
Four or 5 episodes,
and I got to admit, I did watch the first two, maybe 3 episodes of the show,
and it's great.
And I was digging it. I was just like, I'll go back to it. I just haven't.
By episode 4 or 5, that's when it truly starts to spiral.
Yeah,
and then it just gets progressively worse. But I will say, my favorite scene, in conjunction to yours, is the final scene, where you could tell. Spoiler alert if anyone's actually going to watch it, but Swamp Thing is not actually Alex Holland. It is the consciousness of Alex Holland copied by the plants in the green. Mm-hmm. And then when he finally comes to this realization and finds a skeleton of Alex Holland, this is when Alex Holland comes to this Alec with a C. I bet. Yeah. Alec. My cousin's Alex.
I got you. No, I got you.
So this is when Alec Holland comes back as his conscience and they have like a heart to heart. and it is Swamp Thing not kneel down, but like hunch down, grabbing his knees, kind of like this emotion, because he still has the mind of a human, realizing that he is not who he thinks he is and what he was and what he was doing to Abby and all this deep, dark regret. And then Alec comes in and tries to tell him, it's like, hey, you may not be actually me, but you kind of are. And you're still you, and all this humanity to it. And you can see the sadness in the Swamp Thing's face, which I don't know how you can portray that, but it was done.
Yeah. Oh my God, Derek Mears is actually a good actor?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful shot. To George's credit, it was a beautifully shot.
And that actually makes me happy because that is actually, Swamp Thing actually did have to go through that at a certain point in the comic where he figures out that he is not Alec Holland. He's just what's left of Alec Holland, So he did actually have to go through that at a certain point. So that actually, I love how at the very least they at least go and they try to stay as close to the source material as possible, which is what I really dig about these shows on the DC universe.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we were talking about other things to talk about in this segment here. We didn't even mention the fact, or we didn't even talk about the fact that season 2 trailer for Titans came out.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
How did you not see it?
I thought you posted it.
No, I posted it. Yeah, I didn't share it.
I made me really want to finish up the first season, and I'm kind of excited for the second season now.
I'd say so. It's still not amazing, but it's enough potential. I'm excited for more. I
mean, you got more. You got looks at Aqualad. You got looks at Crypto, at Superboy. You got,
the whole team walking.
Yeah, you got a lot of shit.
Donna Troy looking beautiful.
Bruce Wayne talking to Dick.
Yep. And he's supposed to have a bat suit in this show too.
Bruce?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were going to suit him up
because they said that his suit's going to be very close to the Arkham Asylum or Arkham Knight suit.
Cool.
I'm okay with that.
We're going to see Ian Glenn suit up.
And then you have at the whole thing ends with Deathstroke, which looking very much like a cross between Deathstroke and Deadshot.
I'll be honest, I don't like
because he's got a target in one of the eyes.
Well, his bad eye is a red. It's a red like laser T-1000 looking thing.
Why?
I don't.
I'll be honest. It was
he is known as Deathstroke the Terminator.
But it was a very dark shot in the trailer. But my tagline for this is, it looks like Titans finally figured out what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to find the stride, which is, they did a lot of reworking at the end of the first season. The end of the first season wasn't as strong, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There were some episodes where it was just a roller coaster. It's like, episode 3 is great, but 4 is, what the fuck? And then 5 is, wow, that's interesting. And 6 is just like, god damn. So it was a roller coaster.
Yeah, Titans season 1 was tough because it wasn't finding the stride soon.
So if anything, Justin, I say power through it and be ready for season 2 because it looks like
I'm actually looking forward to season 2.
We're going to have a team up. And then I find it funny. I forgot who it was that was saying it in the trailer, but they were like, so we're going to be a group, but like the second version? So like, are we Titans 2.0?
Oh my God.
They were making I forgot who it was. I think it might have been New Robin, Jason, making the jokes. And I was just like,
I really liked him in season 1.
He was one of the
Jason was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get through some movies now. The one piece of news I have for this week is Andy Serkis is pretty much in the final talks to be directing Venom 2. I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't see Venom 1, so I really don't really care.
Wow.
But
I forgot you didn't go see that.
Nah, didn't bother.
Unfortunately, George.
But I like Andy Serkis.
You liked it.
Yeah.
I like Andy Serkis, but I like Andy Serkis as an actor, so I don't know if I've ever seen it. What has he directed?
That I know of, he's only directed Mowgli.
I have a crazy question for you, Kevin. Because I know you dislike these both probably equally. Which one do you like better, Venom or Thor Ragnarok?
More?
Yeah, which one do you like more?
If you had to pick one, which one?
Okay, if I had to tell you which one I want to rewatch,
yeah,
let's go with that. Sure.
I'd rather go take a nap.
No, you have to pick one. Life or death. Everyone you know and love is dead tomorrow if you do not pick one.
Okay, here's a scenario. You're in hell. You have to watch one thing for the rest of eternity. Which one do you choose that you're not? That you can at least you feel that you can watch for the rest of eternity and be okay. And
he rips out his own eyes. He rips out his own eyes.
Yeah, he's like, I just I just kill myself again.
Can I do a Ragnarok supercut of only Corgan meets?
No, you have to watch one movie.
You'll watch the movie from beginning to end.
This is hell. It's
post
supposed to be
credits.
torture, which is going to be the least amount of torture for you.
No, wholeheartedly, I would literally lean towards, and it's really fucking funny to say, Venom, because it's so funny to laugh at. Like it's a guilty pleasure. I don't like admitting that I like it, because I like it ironically. That's the best way to say it. I like it ironically because I know it's bad, but it's such a fun train wreck to watch.
But it's not even like it's fun to watch it fail, because it doesn't necessarily fail.
It made a fuck ton of money, and now there's a sequel that we're talking about.
It's enjoyable, and it's launching the Venom verse.
Right, and I really like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and his relationship with the symbiote. It's really cool.
It was really well done.
Yeah. And that scene where he goes full on Venom in the building is awesome.
I hope they take a page out of Donny Cates, right? He's the one writing Venom.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a page out of it and do some stuff from there.
Probably will.
If they're gonna keep staying away from the rest of the Spider-Verse, might as well.
They kind of have to.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Sony wants to push. Hey, can we get Tom Holland in here?
Well, it's always too, like, you take what's current because that's what people have access to. So Donny Cates' stuff would be the stuff that people could go to the stores and buy.
Why not make it a Miles Morales Spider?
Well, here's the thing. I think that's what they're trying to do in Absolute Carnage, because the book that started today. Because I think the Spider-Man in that book is Miles. It's not Peter.
Again,
Miles does have an interaction when Venom has to fight the Knoll Dragon.
Yeah, the dragon.
When he's on Earth. And over a year ago at this point?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah,
that was the first arc.
And that's when he finds out he has a different power, I think it was. He pulled out some other power. I don't know. Miles keeps pulling out powers out of his ass.
Can't do it on command.
I feel like Justin Spider-Man Noir.
Figuring out the fucking cube. But yeah, I guess we all have not seen Mowgli, so we have no idea how Andy Serkis directs. We love him as a mocap actor, but I don't know what to say about this in the Venom thing. And I think the majority of Venom is the strange stylistic choices that the director did. Mm-hmm. David Fletcher, I think it was.
And for the record, I believe I have seen Mowgli. I just don't really recall much about it for some reason.
No, because it's like it was a year or two after Ruben Fletcher. Jesus.
Ruben Fleischer.
Fleischer?
There's accents?
No, Fleischer. Yeah. You got it.
Gotcha.
Well, he directed Zombieland.
Yeah.
Wait, did Zombieland?
Mm-hmm. That's what gave Venom the quirk.
But here's the thing.
That's definitely some Zombieland quirk.
Here's the thing. He directed Zombieland, but he also directed, he was a producer. No, he didn't direct. He produced Gangster Squad.
Nice.
Good taste.
Yeah, so we don't have much to say about Andy Serkis directing Venom 2 other than
it's Venom 2.
George and I were like, we'll go see it.
Yeah.
I honestly cannot say I'm excited, but I'll go see it.
Well, they keep talking about how Carnage is supposed to be in this, and that would probably, as much as that would probably compel me to go see that one, just to see Carnage realized.
Did you see who Carnage is?
Yeah, it's going to be Woody Harrelson.
Did you see the wig?
No.
That was awful. He looked like Annie.
Yeah, Annie curls instead of that spiky, thinned out red hair.
All right, so something we could actually talk more about.
Okay,
Rumors.
so rumor of the week for me is that Giancarlo Esposito, yes, Gus Fring himself
from Breaking Bad,
is rumored to have a role in the MCU, and let the speculation begin. We were already talking about Doom.
Yeah. Yes.
Gus Fring as fucking Doom.
Yes.
Or I was saying, hell, Osborn.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Either one is wonderful.
Anybody. I don't care.
I want him to be a villain. I'll agree to that. I want him to be a villain.
For some reason,
what you hire him for.
For some reason, a
lot
of chatter online, they were saying Kang the Conqueror, and I was like, no, man, dude.
No, well, see, now they're, not to take us down a tangent, but now they're already saying that we've already met Kang the Conqueror.
Cool.
He's the kid.
What kid?
The one in Iron Man 3. The one that Tony helped.
Why?
Because he's supposed to be the next Iron Man, and that Kang actually went back in time and became Iron Lad first, before he became Kang the Conqueror, and then he became Immortus. Okay. He was Iron Lad on Young Avengers.
Iron Lad. Man, those sidekick names suck.
Well, believe me, it was a big reveal when you found out that he was young Kang.
I know. I can imagine. I want to give props to the writer for that.
I'm okay with that. That's a cool reveal.
Yeah, especially if they do it in the MCU.
But because when you met him, he didn't have. He said he had parents, but you never saw him.
No.
You know, he was just a kid with a garage and then Tony fucking financed all his fucking research.
Yeah.
So Kang comes back in time, is stuck here, and then Tony basically gives him something to create an Iron Man suit with. And because he's Kang, he does it, which leads to him becoming Kang the Conqueror.
I kind of like this thing of like, even in death, Tony keeps creating problems.
You know it's gonna happen.
As much as I love him, yeah, it's true.
Tony is the source of all problems in the MCU. You think his death is going to stop that?
Right.
No.
Kind of like Batman creating his own
At some point, you're going to find out that he created the Kree. You know?
Jesus. He went back in time and nutted on something.
All Kree are part Stark.
Yeah.
Oh, ew. Oh, that's episode 2.
I thought it was the other thing.
I forgot it.
It was all words are made up.
Getting back to the Giancarlo thing.
Yeah.
Doom.
Who could... Come on. Fuck, this guy is Doom.
Doom commands a presence, and so does he.
And he'll always be in the suit, so basically you'll only hear his voice, and he's got a voice to pull that off.
Hell yeah.
I'm sold on him.
I feel like... Well, it would be a Phase 5 movie, probably.
Oh, yeah, no, they're already saying, of course.
Yeah, and then Fantastic Four, did they say it's... Yeah, because Phase 5 is a few years out. Yeah, possible. I was just thinking about timelines and how they plan on doing things and what they've said so far.
Look, Doom works... Doom is supposed to be classically the Fantastic Four villain. I want Doom to be the villain, the overall villain of the story.
But I want him introduced in a Fantastic Four movie.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So he's introduced, and then you find out he's got his hands in everything.
Exactly. Like Loki was introduced in
Perfect. That's a good one. Yeah,
Thor,
but he never became.
And then branches out.
He never became the overarching villain.
Avengers.
He did, yeah. So, but I'm all sold on this guy Doom, and if we don't get him as Doom, I'll take him as Norman Osborn. He's got the look of Osborn.
I like it too.
Yeah,
and he could pull off being the ruthless Green Goblin. I think he would look great if they put the Green Goblin, do it right with the mask instead of all the metallic armor bullshit. They actually give him a mask that
Which
fits
one was
his face.
that? That was Amazing Spider-Man that had
no, Willem Dafoe. That was
Dafoe.
Yeah, the Sammy Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
Sammy Raimi.
Yeah. Fuck me.
No.
So now on to the rumors that was my favorite.
This is what you liked?
Yeah, this is what I liked.
Okay, so this rumor is Gore is going to be one of the villains of Thor: Love and Thunder. The other one is supposed to be Enchantress. They've already heavily pushed the idea that Enchantress is supposed to be the main villain. So the addition of Gore, to me, says that they're going to do like you, George, was saying, that the unworthiness and everything. But I'm afraid because he's a secondary villain to Enchantress, he's going to go the way of Bane in the Batman movies, where he becomes a henchman. He's not going to be the high-class villain that he's supposed to be, because you're putting him in a movie with another villain.
I swear to God, if they make him a henchman, I will riot.
I will riot, because I loved Gore in the God Butcher
I
arc.
did too, but don't you... I mean, they're already saying Enchantress is the villain, and it makes sense because Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be very female-centered. You've got Valkyrie being the king of Asgard. You've got Jane Foster taking over the role of Thor. So it's going to be very female. So to make the villain a woman just is a logical step.
Yeah.
And the one Thor villain they have not used is Enchantress. So it makes sense that she's going to be the villain. They're already talking about it. Gore, I think, is just I personally think this is a rumor. I don't really think this is true, because I don't think you can do Gore justice in this way. I really don't.
Yeah,
Gore really needs to kind of be his own villain.
But, I mean, maybe they can... We've already dealt with time travel and stuff like that. They can introduce him.
But to me, it just feels like he's going to be... If they're going to introduce him, it's only for the unworthiness thing.
Yeah.
It's not to do what they did with him, where he
In the book,
destroyed all the gods for the reason he destroyed all the gods and actually took it to the brink. Because that, that
time spanning too.
Yeah, that implies having to bring in young Thor and old King Thor. Which
that's a
I don't
movie
think
in its own.
I don't think
watch.
they're going to do. So really, if they're going to bring him in and they're going to put him in this movie, to me, it sounds like they're doing it just to get the unworthy portion of that and out of it.
Yeah.
So that we can have Thor drop the hammer.
Ah, man. I mean,
so that's why I'm not quite excited for it, because it's like Gore is too great of a villain to make a secondary character.
Yeah, I agree. Unless they make him, Emperor-esque, where he's man in the shadows and he's puppeteering.
What if it's already?
Now that's an idea.
Well, what if it's already after he's already butchered the gods and stuff?
Like he's laying low.
Yeah, well, this is just like.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Going towards more God bomb.
You have it, yeah. You have it start out where he's butchering everybody all in the past, and then it just kind of moves straight forward to the present, and then he's the one in the shadows. He's the one. So Enchantress it would reverse. Enchantress would be the henchman.
Oh, you just make them both, main villains.
One's got to be the dominant.
I know. But women are going to hate that a female villain is going to be the henchman of a male.
Exactly.
Listen, let's make Gore androgynous. No gender.
I don't think that would work for them.
I know, but still.
I feel like that's your man. But what would be cool, I'm throwing my idea out there, is let's say Gore, exactly what you guys said, Justin and George, that he already did some butchering in his heyday. Even, let's say, had a confrontation with young Thor. He's 1,000-something years old.
Plus, yeah.
We never saw all that. So let's say he had that and lost, just like in the God Butcher, and he went away. Let's say Enchantress is the villain, and let's say already has a confrontation early on in the movie, loses, resorts to using or bringing about Gore to let him loose onto the world. Or and then can't
control him?
Can't control him, and he betrays her. Or...
Yeah,
because remember, his idea is to kill all gods.
Yeah.
And maybe in his mind, even Enchantress is a god with, this godlike level of power, which is magic.
Well, it's not really power, it's more about worship that Gore goes after. It's those deities who are worshipped.
Mm-hmm. True. Okay.
So, you can make Enchantress part of a cult and she's worshipped.
I like the idea of, like, Enchantress resorting to him after, let's say, a loss or something. And then he just goes out of her control.
Kind of like when the mobsters resorted to getting the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yes. And
they let him loose.
And they turn to something that they don't understand.
Yeah.
Just like this. That's what I'm thinking of.
Ah, I like that.
What just sucks is Taika Waititi. He's not going to do that. It's going to be... He's probably going to wisecracking...
Jesus Christ, Kevin. Come on, man. Let it go, okay?
But, hey, people can change. Directing styles can be different and fluid.
No, you didn't see that thing of Taika Waititi said, like on Twitter, people were saying that like don't change this or you better do that or whatever. And Taika said it's like I can quickly watch me quickly change your geeky mythology. And people were like, really, dude? Like, are you really taking that fucking stance over fans just like wanting a
thing? It could just be him wanting to troll, to be honest.
Right, and he is that ultimate troll because he's a troll in power.
Yeah, exactly. So, I feel like he might be trolling. I don't know if he's a fan of Thor in general. Hopefully he is, because I feel like those who are at least knowledgeable about a character should, helm a movie for them. Because if not, you get some pretty crappy movies that we've seen in the past.
Agreed.
But, let's see. That's all rumors. It's all speculation. Gore is a huge villain on his own.
Right.
And that was the first...
That's why I'm on Justin's camp of I would prefer that be its own movie.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. But sometimes you gotta, commingle things and introduce things differently and have a different flow to it.
They could use Chris Hemsworth's brother, Liam Hemsworth, as like flashbacking to like even younger Thor,
to young
wielding a fucking axe and shit.
Jormir or something like that. The axe that's so heavy it takes a belt to increase Thor's strength to wield it.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, once you got me back into comics a few 2 years ago now with God Butcher.
Yeah.
I went wholeheartedly into the Thor mythology, and then playing God of War added more to that and everything.
Understandably.
Yeah, beautiful game. You should play it, Kevin.
So moving on to trailers, we have The Irishman and we have 1917. I didn't watch the 1917 trailer. I saw the picture for it. It's a war movie. I'm sorry, I don't care. But according to Kevin, it looks really good. Looks amazing. It's from the director of
it's Sam Mendes who did Skyfall. So
that's a pedigree, and that would probably get me to watch it. But like I said, it's a fucking war movie. I give a shit about war movies.
To me, it looks like Saving Private Ryan, but in World War One, and it's like really grounded, gripping, like almost handheld footage, not found footage. I mean handheld, like it's a single camera following the character through this like battlefield, and to me, it looks incredible. The story is that it's these two soldiers that are sent to like a battalion, like the army is like completely lost contact, to not attack a specific location the next day because it's an ambush. And if not, millions will die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of compelling.
So I'm like, that's so cool. And in the trailer, it shows this like one handheld shot of like following this one soldier running to get to the front lines to tell people to stop. And it's like in mid-battle. And just like people are dying, being slaughtered, like just
so it's like a messenger just running to deliver the message.
Crazy.
What would we do without cell phones? I mean, I lost my taste for war movies, but the concept sounds good.
Yeah, I like that.
So well, Sam Mendes. I mean,
and Sam Mendes. So
what else has he done? I don't remember.
Skyfall. What did he do before that?
American Beauty.
Which I never saw. I know that one, but I never saw it.
That's what he's known for. Is American Beauty.
Damn, I don't know what else.
Skyfall was
Road to Perdition.
Okay to me.
Yes, I saw Road to Perdition.
Skyfall, Revolutionary Road, American Beauty. Let's see, Away We Go, Jarhead, which was a good movie.
I saw Jarhead. Jarhead's great, and that's another one that uses the crazy handheld footage of following the character through a bunch of fucking huge battlefield.
What I loved about that movie is the metaphor they used for that movie, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah. So that was 1917.
The other one is The Irishman, which is the Netflix movie that
Martin
Scorsese is going to direct. And I gotta say,
what are we looking at here, George?
Well, breaking news. I just kind of sorry to throw you off there, Justin, but just a little news thing popped up on my phone for
Spider-Man Universe TV series really special. Chris Miller says of Sony Project. TV project.
So a TV project based on the Into the Spider-Verse universe.
All right.
So Chris Miller from Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah. They said they had a Spider-Man thing that they're working on.
So everyone thought it was going to be animated.
What's TV show? It's an animated
TV show. An animated TV show.
Does it specify animated there? It didn't say
no,
that.
But it's
the fact that they're using Into the Spider-Verse as a reference.
Okay.
Insinuates.
Cool. I mean, hopefully we get noirs, and I would love Spider-Punk.
I mean, it's just I was actually talking about with a coworker, Zach.
Spider-Man 2099.
29. That would be amazing.
It's just we haven't had
Oscar Isaac voicing him in the ending of Spider-Verse was cool, man.
Yeah, but yeah, sorry, just a little thing that popped on my phone.
That's cool.
Okay, so we have The Irishman, which is Martin Scorsese movie for Netflix that's got Pacino,
De Niro.
God, I blanked on his name there for a second. De Niro. And what I'm most excited about, the return of Joe Pesci.
Bro, this dude said he was only coming out of retirement for Scorsese.
Yeah. And Pacino's playing Hoffa.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. That's an interesting role for him. So I watched the trailer for it. I was like, it's pretty typical Martin Scorsese fare, so I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, Hitman works for a crime family.
Yeah. But I like the added addition of it being Jimmy Hoffa, because there's always the mystery involved with that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Don't really have much to say about it. It's just one of the trailers.
I thought it was a killer trailer.
It was a good trailer.
And when it showed the de-aging footage of like them looking younger, like De Niro looking younger and Pesci looking younger, I was like, oh fuck, wait, was that the footage? And I remember going back and I was like, wow, like they look so good. It's like it looks almost MCU level good. And this is like on a smaller budget Netflix TV movie.
Well, the thing is, man, I mean, deep fakes have become a real big issue.
Yeah.
And the technology keeps getting pushed forward way too hard, way too fast.
It's getting too good.
There's a thing today online. It's a deep fake. It's what's his name? Ron Swanson.
On Full House intro.
That shit is everybody.
So funny. He's everybody's face. Yeah.
And the worst part, like, it doesn't look bad. It looks legit.
Michelle Tanner with Ron Swanson's face
and mustache.
It's nightmares. It's nightmare worthy.
But I don't know why the one that wins it for me is the Olsen one, the little one.
Michelle Tanner.
Oh no! God damn it! I'm forgetting all these. I thought you were talking about the oldest sister DJ.
No, that's DJ.
Candace Cameron Bure.
I forget.
But yeah, I mean, they do that little kid with that face just
too much. Bob Saget.
Oh my God,
with the face of Ron.
It almost fits for him. I won't lie. It almost fits. But the laws can't keep up with deepfakes, and the technology keeps going forward. And you have things like Gemini Man using similar technology to de-age Will Smith, and now you have...
That's different. That's not the same technology.
It's not?
No, because remember, he's been acting. Will Smith has been acting since his 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So what they've done is just overlay that footage over his current face.
It's a deep fake.
It's a deep fake, right, but it's not a de-aging. It's different technology.
He's talking about deep fakes.
Talking about deep fakes.
Yeah. So you're right.
And de-aging would be more like Tron Legacy, when they de-aged
Jeff Bridges. That looked horrible.
Well, but that was the beginning of it.
Right, that was the beginning.
Yeah, that one that was really early on, and two, it was a sci-fi world inside of a computer.
The best one is still Michael Douglas in the MCU.
Totally, no question. But you got to admit,
and Kurt Russell
for that.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
And Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Yo, it looked like him.
It looked like
him, like coming out of like Escape from New York.
Like you're watching the movie, going, how did they know to have him film this scene all those years ago for this movie?
Deepfakes. It's dangerous.
But even still, it looked. Jeff Bridges looked bad in Tron Legacy, but at the same time, it was the first use of that technology, and I was willing to roll with it. So
I mean, I paid it off as this is a cybernetic, cyber futuristic, innocent.
And like you said, it all took place in a computer.
Yeah, I mean, the first Tron had really weird looking faces because of the black and white and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this. But yeah, that technology is there, and they're using it on actors left and right, and I am okay with this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I have no interest in Gemini Man, but I'm interested to see what they do with the technology.
It looks like a big, dumb, fun sci-fi action movie, so that's up my alley.
Gemini Man?
Yeah,
but see, the problem with that is it's not going to be because it's Ang Lee.
Right. It's fine. Sprinkled in the slow meandering, cinematic stuff, which is fine with me too.
Ang Lee is Justin's version of Taika Waititi for Kevin.
No, because I'll still watch an Ang Lee movie and not go, oh, fucking Ang Lee's gonna fuck it up. I'm not gonna do that. I know I respect Ang Lee. I just you're expecting it to be one movie, and because it's Ang Lee cannot do that. He does his own thing.
At least it's not M. Night Shyamalan.
That's very true.
Hey, at least you get a good thriller out of him.
Who, Ang Lee or M. Night Shyamalan?
Either one, but M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, at least it's always going to be a thriller.
He did Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Right.
I will never forgive him.
When it's not something that he
did everything after Sixth Sense. That's what I can't give him for.
Damn.
You know what? I think I'm okay with that.
Hey, I love the Unbreakable trilogy so far.
Yeah, Unbreakable was
cool.
The
two Unbreakable. Oh no, I'm sorry, I forgot Split is part of it.
Yeah. And it was great. It was great.
Other movie I have yet to see.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Shamalang.
So
speaking of Ding Dong,
final thing tonight. We've got some reviews. I don't know how in depth you want to go. I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw, but I really don't give a shit if you spoil it. But I know you guys don't want me to spoil Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I've seen. So I don't know how far you want to get into this. If you want to get into
just general thoughts. I know you haven't seen any, George. Right?
I haven't seen either, and I don't care.
So just general thoughts. I'll go first, so we can end it hopefully on a better note. So Hobbs and Shaw, as I think I'm infamously already known around my friends, Justin, is the Fast and Furious franchise is a huge guilty pleasure of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're big dumb fun, and I love them for that. And since Fast 5, they've embraced that even more, and it's been great. Now, since 7, since basically the loss of Paul Walker, since 7, they have felt soulless. They have only been big dumb fun with this hollow shell of what the franchise was since 5. Which they've always been cool about, like, friendship, family. But there's always been something
those movies
there.
About family? I didn't know.
Yeah, there's always
they
been
only mentioned it 700 times.
Right. But that's always been like the anchor, and then it became very apparent after the 7th one that the anchor for that sense of family was Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor. So, since the loss of that character, it has not been the same since. It's just been, another big, dumb, fun action movie that's just, you go watch it, eat your popcorn, get out, and you never think of it again. So then now Hobbs and Shaw tries to, like...
Capitalize,
right. That's the best way, because it's a spin-off, and obviously spin-offs are just cash grabs. But it utilizes the chemistry that The Rock and Jason Statham had from the previous. So they're like, okay, let's amp that up, and then we have to inject levity too, because neither one are, like, known for their comedic acts. But I thought they did pretty well for their comedic stuff. So then the added levity, in my opinion, I thought they went too funny to the point that, like, I want to ruin, quote unquote, 2 cameos here.
Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart.
Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart are in this fucking movie. And telling you that Ryan Reynolds is the better one.
Of course.
And I feel and you already know, he's completely tacked on in this movie. To the point that, like, he's talking about spoilers of the ending of Game of Thrones. And it's like, when did he have time to do that? That was like 2 months ago. So you already know his scenes were probably tacked on. And they were great. So I think that with the way this fucking spinoff ended, you already know that they're probably going to continue on their, like, own adventures or their own team away from the Vin Diesel and family gang. So,
but is Ryan Reynolds going to be a part of it?
I hope so. Because that was great. I thought it was awesome. So then my enormous problem with this movie, besides it feeling hollow, and of course, it's capitalizing on something that's already been beaten to death and hollowed out. So it's like, okay, what did you bring to the table? All you brought to the table was cool, fun chemistry that is this, like, Lethal Weapon style of, like, The Rock is this big hulking brute, but charming, and then Jason Statham is the stealth spy, but he's an asshole and a criminal. So it's like that contrast, that odd pair, if you will. It's cool. It's an odd couple type of thing. But then you add Idris Elba, who elevates any material given the worst material in that man's career as this super soldier just trying to conquer the world. That's it. That's
the premise. I saw the trailer and I was like,
with a transforming bike.
Yeah, with a transformer bike. Yeah, it's dumb. It's the emphasis. It's the epitome of big dumb fun in the summer, and I can't say anything else to really
make it shine,
redeem it. Yeah, not make sure like redeem it. It's just go in, just really turn your brain off because you're not going to think about this movie again.
I keep getting upset that movies keep using Idris Elba in the wrong way.
It's true,
and it's frustrating the hell out of me. I love him as an actor, and just movies just keep being like, oh yeah, let's do this with him. Oh yeah, let's do this with him. I'm just like, I thought Dark Tower was going to be like his breakout, and he was going to be like a leading man for everything coming on. And
it never happened.
And they screwed that one up. Even though Stephen King liked that.
The thing about Idris Elba is that he can be a leading man.
Right.
He just hasn't gotten that movie.
In America. For American,
yeah. And it frustrates the hell out of me. I like him as an actor.
So speaking of breakout, in a movie where Kevin Hart, Ryan Reynolds, Jason Statham, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson are in, to me personally, the breakout is Vanessa Kirby.
And you're going to say that.
She's amazing in this fucking movie. If we got more of her, I probably would actually like this movie more.
I heard she has some fight scenes and everything.
And she's great. And I heard that she was legit about those stunts. And I thought she was awesome. And then the bigger gripe thing that I think should propel a better conversation. Maybe not today because we're all obviously over time. Hobbs and Shaw is in the year of other action movies that we've gotten, or maybe I'd say the past 2 years of action movies that we've gotten that are not only better, but actually have more souls and heart and are way better in the stunt and effects department. This is riddled with like MCU level of CG background and things tumbling and just like weightless bullshit on screen that you don't believe anything of what's happening. And this is the same year that we just got what? John Wick 3. And last year we got Mission Impossible Fallout. Two incredible and very different action movies that this movie, Hobbs and Shaw, tries to replicate both and fails at all cylinders.
It's a little heartbreaking.
So to me, it's so like, okay, I walked out, and of course my fiance Val, she's like, I had fun with it. And she looked at me, she's like, you had fun with it, but you probably didn't, like, you hate it. I was like, I didn't hate it, but what makes me hate it more is the comparison to other action movies. The Raid, the Mission Impossible franchise, now the John Wick franchise, is we are now spoiled. We get better action movies outside of this garbled garbage.
Big Dumb Fun is coming out of style, man.
Yes, and it's and I saw it's the lowest grossing Fast and Furious movie.
Well, it's because it doesn't have Fast or Furious in the title.
It says Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, but they said that for Star Wars Han Solo. It didn't work out.
Yeah. So it's funny how star power is no longer a factor for box office. That or even crazy big dumb fun action, like you said. You give us cool, badass, well choreographed action in like John Wick and crazy stunt work in Mission Impossible franchise. Hell, even go as far back as like Jason Bourne. Those movies banged.
Yeah.
And they were quality.
They were grounded.
Yeah.
Big Dumb Fun's out of fashion.
But that was more of my tangent on Hobbs and Shaw that I really want to really have my piece with.
Can't really say anything. I didn't say it, nor will I probably say it.
Yeah, don't even bother.
I mean,
that's the worst part.
I will. You know what? The sad thing is,
I'm a fan of it.
I will, but I don't know that I'm going to waste a theater ticket on it.
I'm missing Fast and the Furious movies, so I don't even know how those two got together.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see the last one either.
The movie where Paul Walker dies during the filming of it.
7.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, so you didn't even see 7?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I was like,
that was probably the last.
The heart and soul is gone. It's
yeah,
like
I was like, let it rest.
Because 7 is that's when Jason Statham comes in as the villain.
Yeah,
he doesn't come in until the end though.
No, that's the end of 6. Because 6, it's Luke Evans.
Oh, that's right. That's right. 7, because that's when they tear up the car and they start fighting each other. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, in 6, Luke Evans is the villain as Owen Shaw.
His brother.
And then they beat him up, and then Deckard Shaw, which is played by Jason Statham, comes into the picture as revenge in 7.
Yeah, he kills. He's the one that kills Han.
That's why since 8, which they like bring Deckard Shaw into the fold, into the family. The people have been been behind this like hashtag, this movement of justice for Han, because why would you welcome to the family the murderer of one of your own?
Because he's Jason Statham.
Right. So then in this movie, and it's funny, he goes on this almost near borderline redemptive arc of like atoning for past mistakes. And you know that he means stuff like Han and other things that he may have gone through.
Anti-villain bullshit. Anti-hero.
Right. Because, he is teaming up with The Rock and going against Idris Elba, who elevates the little material he's given, but it's still.
I'm sorry. In the trailer, when I saw him say, I'm like Black Superman, I'm like, oh, god damn, really? They told me.
Dude, and the worst part, he sells those stupid ass lines.
I believe that he sells it, but I'm sure deep down inside, like a part of his soul.
Early on, they're like, oh, who are you? And he goes, I'm the bad guy. And it's like, that's already going against like writing 101, where the villain should not view himself as the antagonist. Every good villain thinks they are right.
Thinks they're the hero of their own story.
Right.
Except for Joker. But besides the point.
True.
Yeah, there are exceptions to every rule, but I agree. Him just being like, I'm the bad guy. It's like, wow, this is our original? Question mark? But Justin, please, give us something good to think about before we leave.
Oh, I absolutely loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And here's the thing. I went into it, and I didn't think I was going to like it.
Ooh.
Neither one of those trailers did anything for me.
And it's been getting mixed reviews.
Really?
Look, I watched this movie, and I will admit I spent the first 2 hours. It's almost a 3-hour movie.
Oh, fuck me.
I spent the first 2 hours, which I didn't realize it was 2 hours because I had to look at my clock just to know. But I did spend the first 2 hours of this movie going, what is this movie about? But
I heard it meanders for a really long time.
But once we got to the end of this movie, I was completely like, oh, I fucking love this movie.
Really?
It was good. It was really good.
I heard the last 20 minutes are insane.
They are. They totally are. It's not really much I could give away without, like, there's scenes in this movie with like, most of the scenes in this movie are with DiCaprio, and then Brad Pitt really doesn't, I mean, he's in the movie, but he doesn't really get to shine until closer to the end. But everybody's turning in pretty stellar performances and stuff like that. There's a ton of cameos in this movie.
The Bruce Lee one sticks out.
Yeah, it's a really small piece of the film, and if what you see in the trailer is what you get.
His family hates it. His family absolutely hates it. But I mean, they hate everything.
Was it good, Justin?
Yeah.
The Bruce Lee cameo.
What you saw is what you got.
Okay.
You know, there's a little bit more fighting, but it's not much more. So basically, you've seen that scene already.
Does the Sharon Tate and the Charles Manson stuff get roped into the story?
Well, Sharon Tate is a big part of this. Is a big portion of the movie. I'm not going to reveal what the ending is.
Okay.
I will say this because it's not really a spoiler. Charles Manson is in one scene in this movie.
What? Bro, and it's the actor that plays fucking Dewey. Carl from Justified.
He also plays Charles Manson on that Mindhunters TV show too.
Yeah,
I forgot that. That's right, in season 1.
Yeah,
I was reading about that, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what they're going to do with this."
He plays Charles Manson in 2 different points.
But like I said, there's not much I can tell you about the movie without giving too much away.
Understandable, but you like it.
I wanted to see it again. I thought it was really good. Like I said, I want to see it again because I spent the first 2 hours of the movie going, what is this movie about? But once I got to the end of the movie and I realized, oh no, I really like this movie. Now I want to watch it again and go, okay, now that I know what's going to happen, let me see how the progression happens again. What I really like about this movie, beyond the story and everything like that, is just that it recreates Los Angeles in the 70s.
Nice.
Which is something I've never seen, but to watch this movie, you really get an idea and a feel for what it was like back then in Los Angeles. Uh-huh. And I really like the tone of this movie. I like that little piece of it.
If there's not hookers and cocaine, it's not real.
Especially 70s.
There's a lot of drinking, I'll tell you that.
We'll take it.
There's no cocaine in the movie, not that I can think of.
There's
a cigarette dipped in acid. Or joint dipped in acid.
That's 70s enough. I'll take it.
All right.
But yeah, I can't. You gotta see it. You gotta see, because anything I say is just gonna go, you should have told me that, or I probably should have went in not knowing that. So I really don't want to go too far. I mean, I want to tell you about Brad Pitt's character's life because it's kind of interesting, but you kind of need to go into it and just experience it as you go. I don't want to get into a situation where you come back and go, I really liked it, but if you hadn't told me about that, I think I would have liked it even more. So,
I understand that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay.
What scares me now is that it's almost a 3 hour.
There's a lot of history, like all Tarantino movies. Every character in a Tarantino movie can have their own movie. Right. You know, because there's a lot of history, there's a lot of story for that character that he puts into it. So every character in his movies, you feel like you could pull out of that movie and give them their own movie. So, and that's very much like...
Hey, it's a good writer. Good writer and even better director.
Yeah. Kevin, aren't you missing a couple of Tarantino movies?
Yeah, I still haven't done the Kill Bills or Hateful Eight.
Supposedly you wanted to do a part
And I've
3.
never seen True Romance.
I would see the Kill Bills.
I recommend the Kill Bills.
I love the first Kill Bill. Can't stand the second one, but I love the first one.
And there's another one I'm missing. Jackie Brown. I haven't seen Jackie Brown.
I was still.
Jackie Brown was a follow up to Pulp Fiction, so it didn't really.
Yeah.
Everybody was on high for Pulp Fiction, and then they got Jackie Brown. They're like, that's not Pulp Fiction.
So I'd say I'm like half and half on Tarantino films.
Mm.
I'm missing exactly half of what I've watched.
I didn't really. I mean, I didn't really care for Hateful Eight. I thought it was fine. I thought it was about 20 minutes too long. I think it could have ended 20. I think it could have ended 20 minutes sooner. But what I will say is, like, I was trying to remember what my favorite Tarantino movies is. Obviously, Pulp Fiction is on top. But
for me, it's Reservoir Dogs.
I like Reservoir Dogs a lot. But one of the movies I really like of his is Django. I really enjoy Django.
Django's awesome.
But the thing about Django for me is that I don't like Jamie Foxx. And I don't like Jamie Foxx in that movie.
No.
I like that movie for
Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz. I really wish that was a King Schultz movie.
DiCaprio's character was
and DiCaprio was amazing.
Candy.
Calvin Candy. He was amazing in that movie. Yeah. So it's like, that's why I really enjoy that
Especially
movie.
when you read the article.
That offsets Jamie Foxx being in that movie for me.
Yeah, which I don't know why they picked Jamie Foxx for that.
Because Will Smith turned it down.
Damn, Will Smith would have been great.
Will Smith's witty banter, but Quentin's dialogue, oh man.
Will Smith couldn't, from what I understand, he couldn't handle all the N-words.
That's funny.
He is, one of those types of good guys. He would be kicked out of the room when the exorcism is happening for Robert Riggs.
What I think is funny is I read an article about, I read an article about DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson doing a scene together in Django Unchained. And DiCaprio, especially with Samuel L. Jackson being in the scene with him, he had a real problem with saying all the N-words. And Jackson had to kind of pull him aside and said, "Get over it. He just fucking do it. What's your problem?"
Right.
You know?
Don't be a pussy.
Basically,
motherfucker.
That's basically what he told him.
You should have called him a cracker ass.
Get your shit together, white boy. Hey, DiCaprio's a good guy. I just love the fact that article that I read when he cuts his hand and he smears his blood.
On Kerry Washington?
Yeah. He actually cut his fucking hand and didn't break character.
Yeah.
And her horrified face was actually horror.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm surprised.
Damn.
Surprised she let that happen without breaking character.
Well, I think she just froze. Like, straight shock.
But it's just the idea of you have the blood from somebody you really don't know smeared on your face.
Even if you do know them, it's still weird.
I'm saying from a medical standpoint.
Oh yeah,
because DiCaprio is kind of known for the pussy boat. You know, he gets around.
Jesus.
Ugh. So I think we're going to end it there. Hopefully next week we'll be able to give a more full and in-depth review of Once Upon a Time, which I'm looking forward to. Like I said, I really enjoyed the movie,
and hopefully the boys. So tune in next week for those. Joe should be back next week. So we should have some more. We should have some more in-depth review on the Haunted Mansion pops that are coming out, and we'll definitely have a review of House of X number 2.
Yeah.
So those are some things to look forward to. So check us out. We're on all social media, Rogue Nation Pod, and we're on every place you can listen to podcasts if you're not already listening to us on your favorite podcast app. So give us a shout. Let us know what you think. Write a comment. Let us know. Even if you hate us, just let us know. And we'll see y'all next week.
Later. Rogue out.